Good day, everybody. What's going out there tonight? Let's see. We should be. Let's see. I should be on 9. Let's go to my videos. Where's my channel? Incoming. Ah. Yep, I hear myself. I already got 2 thumbs up on this. Well, I think I got 1 thumbs up from somebody coming in last night, and then they were like, "What? There's a stream tonight?" And it's like, no, I set the time wrong because I'm a doofus. And for some odd reason, the calendar they have on this thing is like, off by a day, so that Friday looks like it's on Thursday, and Saturday looks like it's on Friday, and Sunday looks like it's on... I don't understand why they have the calendar set up that way. It's just so weird. Hey, Golden Bonnie. Got about 2 more minutes. I'm gonna get the streams. Venture will be able. Terra, probably. It's a visual novel. So, continuing my major minor adventure, will I be able to save Terra? Probably. It's a visual novel. I'd have to screw up pretty bad to fail a visual novel. Well, obviously I won't get the best ending for the visual novel, but, you know. Hey, potato dude. It's only been a week, man. But, yeah, so I did find out about the monetization thing, by the way. It requires something called Super Chat for streaming to do donations directly. And to get Super Chat, I have to get up to 1,000 subscribers. And 1,000 subscribers is quite a bit of subscribers. I would need 800 more. So no, I can't put in Super Chat things which would allow you to donate on the thing until I reach that goal, but that's another goal to have. But I did reach the 10,000 views goal, which means I can monetize my regular videos now, so that YouTube can suddenly take them away, just as YouTube does. But yeah, all the videos seem to have monetization on them right now. Only one of them had a copyright thing on it, which was the holiday parody I did last December. Apparently the background for Silver Bells had a copyright thing on it, which is fine. It was a fun video anyway. Yeah, I'll get there. Yeah, Strangelove might be a little late. But he'll be here, I'm sure. But anyways, let's get started. Oh, what? Anyways, what were we doing last time? Well, last time we kind of went through and talked with some additional individuals. We learned some things about from some characters, but from other characters we weren't we didn't have personal relations with them enough to see their true hidden stories. So, I think we're coming to the conclusion. We went to the Ark for the last, it sounds like the last time, and now we're going back to Terra for the final showdown. Oh yeah, and Rook, we saw Rook, and then Rook went by because Rook didn't like me. So, they made me feel guilty about that. My eyes slowly open, and I examine my surroundings. I know where this is. The Wayfarer's Tavern. A sharp pain pulses in my abdomen, and I grab at it. I notice a large bandage is present, dried with blood, but it must have been phantom pain as it subsides. Flashbacks of the ballroom bombard my mind. I shake my head in an effort to push them away. I didn't need to be reminded of that right now. I bring myself to a sitting position. Alright, so what he's talking about there is that the last time we were on Terra, which was, I think was 2 episodes ago, we had a confrontation in Player's house with his second in command, and like people got stabbed. Oh, I got stabbed in the chest by that dude. Oh, what the heck's his name? Naki? But, well, the cold wood makes me shiver. I feel dizzy at my sudden movements. Moments later, the door opens, almost as if they heard me shifting about. Oh, it's Powerbot. Sorry, PB. It's PB. This has been like episode 4? That was a long time ago. Wow, good to see you up again. You've been out cold for almost a week. That injury, we thought you'd be dead. He laughs and gives me a smile. Great example of his bedside manner. Yeah, Nagi was the evil dude with the sword. Hey Conrad, get in here. Your special friend is moving again. PB rests his back against the wall. After a few seconds, I hear someone run up the stairs. Sure enough, it's Conrad, panting softly as he enters. Oh yeah, Conrad, and he was one of the assassin dudes. His friend, who was, I can't remember his name. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. He also got killed during that encounter in the ballroom. PB, you better not be. He cuts himself off as he sees me. Tantroo, I can't believe it. Almost everyone said you'd die. But I can't lose you just yet. I can't. He runs to the chair beside the bed and sits down. I still need to get you to Vale Squares. Your journey here is far from over. But you don't move too much here. He cut himself off and let me know that I'm fine. I cut him off and let him know that I'm fine. My body is just a little stiff from the lack of motion. No way, a wound like that needs time. In fact, why are you even sitting up? You'll make it open back up or something. I don't know why they're so paranoid. Much to their objection, I stand straight up. Conrad puts his hands out as if to brace for my fall, but I look at both of them, telling them that I'm fine. Yeah, PB's got a lot of piercings. By the way, a lot of these characters, at least from the ones I've seen, do have actual furries that actually have their names tied to that. I don't know, I haven't seen Conrad or PB around. I did find like Rook and the others, but Clace himself is one. He actually made this game. So let's see. They look at each other confused. Did they expect my condition to be worse? Is defying death something you do often? You got stabbed clean through, you know. There's literally a big hole in your body. There's no way in hell you should be alive. And nobody is giving me any details. Almost everybody's been silent so far. I guess what Ryo said was true. He really did save us from Nami and Nagi. But at the same time, I can't disclose this to them. They'd probably pass off the Ark as some sort of hallucination. A weird vision due to my blood loss. I couldn't expect them to believe me, but at the same time, I'm thankful. Ryo really did have my safety at heart. Well, he is the savior, you know. Never short of surprises, this one. Besides, the mystery man was right. He said that Tantroo would survive. I'm surprised none of you believed us. Fine, you win. Good thing I didn't place any bets. Hang tight, I'll send him upstairs. PB leaves the room and heads downstairs. Mystery man. What do they mean by that? I sit back down and look at Conrad. Mystery man's probably Ryo. Because I thought Ryo said he would be coming with on this particular one, because he'd had to leave the Ark. Well, a lot of us don't remember. Hey, Strangelove! Woo! Player's residence is just one big blur. After everything ended, we woke up here. PB had to fill us in on everything. By the way, Strangelove, you might have just missed PB. He was here. It was for a little while, but we were brought here by a stranger. Some random man saved our lives. He said that he tended to your wound. He told us that you lived through this. But I was the only one who believed him. It's nice to know he was right. The other people were starting to get to me. Pessimism can do that. You know how it is. I just didn't expect it so fast. A wound like that should take months, if it even heals up at all. PB. His name is PB. Get it right, Strangelove. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that nothing's impossible. You can leave Terra after all. Everybody says that's impossible. But the word doesn't mean it can't be done. It's more like it deters us from trying. So I expected you to prove them wrong. Seems like you're good at that. Smiles at me and I start to wonder, this mystery man, could it be? The pieces start to fit together in my mind. But there was no need for my wine to do any work. Before I can continue thinking, he enters the room. Oh, here he is now. Tantroo, why don't you thank him? You owe him your life, after all. Oh, I believe there's no need. We have sort of a arrangement. Ray holds out his hand toward me. It's like the other times, but this feels different. Even after leaving the Ark, he still follows me? There'd be so many places he could go instead, but here he is, in the real world. Well, in the Terra world. No longer held back by a prison or the Ark. He'd be free to do whatever he wanted. Yeah, I know. It's okay, Strangelove. It was a funny joke. By the way, I can't remember if I ever said what you said on the channel or not. I almost did, actually, when you were gone. I almost called him PowerBot, and I'm like, oh, well, hold on a minute, that's not his name. Anyway, no longer with me, and that thought was both terrifying and reassuring. Come, Tantroo. You have a royal ball to attend, and some final truths to unveil. It would seem the time has come, Dusk. I must make my final preparations. What would you have me do? Surely I can help you, my liege. I can hear the voices from outside. I didn't expect this many to come. I'm afraid I'm getting a little nervous. It's natural, I'm sure. This is a big day for you, Velasquez. Soon, you'll reveal everything. I can only hope for a positive reception. Perhaps that's why... This is why I'm scared. I have no way of knowing how they'll react. It's different from no other speech. Don't overthink of it like that, my lord. Focus on poise. Speak loud and strong. You're in the highest position of power. You need to focus on how to say things. It's more important than what you say. I suppose you're right. As usual, you have a way to calm me. I'll choose to focus on my demeanor. That's a good idea, Velasquez. It'd be bad to show them the fright. In turn, they'd feel scared as well. Your bearing transfers to your subjects. A happy king creates a happy world. That's something you must remember. Creating a happy world. Yes, I'd quite like that, Dusk. Thank you again for your input. It's an honor. Is there anything else I can do? I suppose we can't delay this any further. Please, go ahead and open the gates. We must prepare for a very special guest. Chapter 9, The Bonds We Forge. So this is 9 out of 10, I believe. So depending on how short Chapter 10 is, this might be the last episode. Who knows? You mean, you two know each other? I thought you were just some stranger. I guess you could say that's still the case. I've been less than forthcoming until now. But to answer your question, we do. I'm sensing some kind of story here. You haven't been lying, have you? I shake my head. Of course I haven't been lying. I just didn't think anyone would believe me. The story of the Ark and my destiny was quite strange. Well, go on. I'm listening. Can't just leave me hanging. I'm afraid we might have to, Conrad. You wouldn't understand the truth. It's quite a complex situation. Don't belittle me, man. Just start with the basics. I'm more capable than you think. Mario lets out a huge sigh, likely of annoyance. He probably didn't want to explain things to Conrad, especially after he just finished doing that with me. Or did the timelines not add up that way? I guess he still had to train Archon. That means he's more time may have passed for him. Either way, he doesn't seem interested in talking. But his disinterest didn't stop Conrad from trying. Well, it's a long story. But me and Velasquez work together. We've been partners for quite a while. That's bogus, Ryo. I would have seen you before. I practically lived in that castle. Well, it's not that similar, comrade. I'm not exactly what you call a Terran. I watched over this world from afar. Come again? That's all I'm willing to say right now. I worked with Velasquez for a long time. You could say we ruled Terra together. I believe that Kalen found this out. Probably why he was sent to play as prison. Velasquez wanted to keep me a secret. I was what you'd call a scapegoat. It's thanks to me that Tantroo is alive. I was able to stop Nami and Nagi too. But if my existence was made public, well, I'd probably be dead right now. Then there'd be infinite suffering. So I hope you can forgive Velasquez, comrade. Keeping Kalen quiet saved the world. Having him talk would have been catastrophic. Right, he mentioned that, didn't he? Said Kalen had some royal secrets. Secrets that could ruin King Velasquez. Has anyone watched the game YouTube version? No, I haven't seen that. What is that? Of course, that's far from the truth. Velasquez isn't up to anything sinister. Your friend just had an undying grudge. I knew it. Velasquez isn't evil. I didn't even believe what Riley said. He said that Velasquez was his employer. It's just a trick, wasn't it? To catch Endymon off guard. Endymon was his partner. He's the one that got killed by Nami and Nagi. Or was it not even Nami and Nagi? Maybe it was, God, what's that dude's name? Black version of the YouTube stream. Oh, night mode. Ah, night mode. Got it. Yeah, I haven't tried night mode yet. That way he could make his move. Exactly. He wanted you to blame Velasquez. He planted seeds of regicide within you. I guess he thought you'd killed the king. At that point, he'd offload Playa. Then the throne would be his to take. Quite admirable, I'll give him that. But Playa's was no longer his puppet no longer. Riley's ambitions died alongside him. That's what happens when you serve yourself. Speaking of which, where is Playa? I haven't seen him since the ballroom. I gave him a good head start. He said he wanted to get away from this, start all over again, make a new life. It wasn't in my nature to deny him, so I guess you could say that player is dead. He's starting over as a new man. Till someone manipulates him again. That was a stupid thing to do, Ryo. Perhaps. But that's all I'm going to tell you. Know that Velasquez's goal is honorable, and Tantroo will make his vision real. I'm sorry that you lost your friend. I'm sorry that you went through all this. But it couldn't have happened any other way. Whatever. It's fine. Thanks for telling me what you did. Now, I know that Velasquez is clean. So I guess it's time to head to the ball. I guess he's gonna make a big speech. Probably has something to do with you, Tantroo. Yeah, this has a 3-second delay and it does DVR. DVR actually is very useful because Twitch doesn't have that. I mean, you can save videos that you stream, but you have to like basically indicate that you want to save it at the end of it. If you forget to do that, then it's gone basically. Which I guess does help in certain ways. Like Twitch is a pure streaming service, so obviously, you know, not saving everything that everyone records is a good thing, but anyways, I wouldn't doubt it actually. His secrecy made people doubtful. They started to think he was evil. But if he opens up to everybody, perhaps our minds will be put at ease. We're working towards a better future. I'd be lying to say if I wasn't curious, so we should stop wasting so much time. If we stay here, we'll miss everything. Words of wisdom, comrade. We wouldn't want to be late for something like this. After all, Tantroo is the guest of honor. Alright, let's get downstairs then. People want to see you, Tantroo. They all thought you were dead mate. Thanks for being open with me. I didn't mean to accuse you of lying. Just seemed a little far-fetched. Conrad smiles and leaves the room. Do you have any other games in mind to stream after you finish this one? There's a lot of Tantroo games this year. Like, I have like a pile of them at this point, and it's just from this year alone. Like, there's gosh, I'll go over them after the episode. I think I gotta remember what they are. Conrad smiles at me as I leave the room. I can hear him descend the stairs with heavy steps. It's true. You did make friends here. Perhaps it's time to say goodbye to them. When you meet the king, this'll all be over. He leaves the room and gives me a slight bow. I can't believe this is finally coming to a close. Everything we worked for is happening today. I guess it really is time to say goodbye. I leave the room and follow after both of them. It was time to see how this would all play out. Yes, there was absolutely no choices. There's no need to mock me, Conrad. I had a lead, a solid one at that. In the end, we were both correct. Kalen was put in prison to keep quiet. However, he didn't have what I thought. Velasquez isn't plotting anything nefarious. I don't think either of us was wrong. In fact, we saved Kalen's life. I just wish it went a little smoother. Right, he crosses his arms and looks at Conrad. It's clear that Conrad was rubbing this in his face. His entire quest was to expose Velasquez was falling apart. There's no need to fight about this. This is not what Cable would have wanted. We need to honor the losses we've endured. You're right, I'm sorry. No, I'm right. I'm righty. I'm righty. I'm always right because I'm righty, dang it. But at least our goals were now aligned. We want to learn what Velasquez is up to. And that wouldn't be too hard either. Apparently he's gonna tell everyone. At this point, that's the point of this royal ball. No one will have to fill in the gaps, all the rumors will be dealt with. About time if you ask me. For once I agree with you, Conrad. Velasquez's silence hurt him in the end. Made it seem like he had something to hide. Well, he kinda does. But it's something noble, I'm sure. I can't wait to figure out what it is. I noticed someone calling out to Righty. His attention is immediately directed to the bar. You must excuse me, Tantroo. Seems that Fidget wants to see me. I think he said something about a drawing. Oh, but first, I nearly forgot. Welcome back to the land of the living. It's nice to see you up, Tantroo. With a quick nod, he exits the conversation. It seems like everything is back to normal around here. Everyone's getting ready for this royal ball, a huge counterpoint to what it was like beforehand. You know, Righty's a nice guy. But he was too nice to become an assassin. My days as one might be numbered as well. After all this is said and done, I don't think there'll be a need for me. Assassins will become a thing of the past. But maybe the world will be better off. Guilds can end up robbing you of friends. Looks over the bar in deep contemplation. I'm not sure if he means Endymon or Righty, but at this point, I guess it doesn't really matter. I suddenly feel the need to get a drink. I'll meet up with you before we go. But I just wanted to say, I forgive you for siding with Righty before. It made sense from your point of view. I can't hold that against you anymore. Consider yourself forgiven, Tantroo. We can't have any bad blood at play. He makes his way over to the bar and Righty. Perhaps he had some mending of his own to do. Last I recall, those two were rivals. It's amazing. They seem almost unaffected. Even after everything that's happened. It's like they're detached emotionally. Kalen turns to address me. This is the first time I've ever spoken with him. Oh, sorry. Did I say something wrong? I have expected you to agree with me. Either way, at least I'm not like them. I still see Kaboo when I close my eyes. I'm not as quick to forget, it seems. I may take a step back from all this, but if you really do save us all, perhaps there won't be need for guilds. I'll be free to live my life my own way. And that makes me feel hopeful. Living life by my own set of rules, I couldn't imagine anything greater. I wish I could have done it with Kaboo. He was a helpless victim of circumstance. He didn't deserve to experience any of this. I noticed Ryo standing not too far away. His ears perked up when he hears the name Kaboo. I'm sorry that you lost your friend. I wish things could have been different. Trust me, it's not like I wanted this. It's okay, Ryo. This isn't your fault or anything. I just wish it were me instead. He was so bright and full of life. But I embraced my death a long time ago. Nothing of importance would have been lost. Really? You're going with that cliched phrase, nothing of importance was lost. Trust me, Kaylin, you're important. But I do feel a little responsible. Your imprisonment was indirectly my fault. Velasquez wouldn't have done it otherwise. But both Nami and Nagi are powerful foes. He needed to keep my identity hidden. Kaylin is a he, yes. Interestingly enough, the very first time this Kaylin came on the screen, which is I think the second episode, I accidentally gave him a feminine voice because I assumed his gender. Because they looked like a she, so I'm like, I'm gonna give him a female voice. And then like about probably a good 30 minutes in, like they said they used the he pronoun, and I'm like, ah, crap. Besides, we have Tantroo here. It might be possible to bring Kaboo back. With such power, we can do anything. Really? Well, I can't say it with absolute certainty, but I experienced just a fraction of it. The power within Tantroo is near infinite. Reversing all of this may be possible. But we need to defeat Nami and Gagi. Otherwise, they'd just get in our way. Yeah, I kept a somewhat effeminate voice for Kalen because I messed up and was like, oh, I thought he looked like a female, and then I'm like, well, I may as well just kind of make it softer and more, still make it masculine, but still like make it softer. I see. Would you join me for a drink, Kalen? I'm parched, but in need of company. Perhaps I can tell you a little more. He walked towards the bar, assuming Kalen would agree. I guess he did deserve to know a little more, though. After all, he was directly affected by Kaboo's death. Conrad even got more information than I expected. What an interesting guy. But it's not like I can turn him down. He knows a lot more than he lets on. I remember the first time I saw him, I was scared, at a loss for words. I had no idea what I was seeing. But now, he helps me feel at ease. It's the exact opposite of before. I thought he was evil, but now I don't know. After saying this, he follows Ryo to the bar. It seems our experiences were both the same. Ryo is almost a completely different man to us. Or whatever his species is. What is the species? Coyote? I can't tell. At first, I had no idea what he was up to. In fact, Velasquez was in the same situation. His secrecy caused people of Terra to doubt him, but he was about to open up, just like Ryo. Today was a turning point of history for Terra. Velasquez would finally tell the world his dream, and then I would help him achieve it for everyone. I look towards the bar, and I'm surprised by what I see. Conrad and Righty are laughing and sharing drinks. Ryo and Kalen are engaged in a intense conversation. Just the other day, I never would have expected this. Things are changing. That fact is now concrete. Right now, however, only a few people are affected. But soon enough, it would be the entire world of Terra. A load of bogus, if you ask me. Save the world? Bring back the dead? Not even Ryo can make up his mind. I won't get your hopes up, Tantroo. His power might not be what you expect, but only believe what Velasquez directly says. PB approaches me from behind, and it startles me. But I actually agree with him. Not even Ryo knew what Velasquez truly wanted. I'd have to treat what he said as pure speculation. Like, there's just so much in the air, and I still don't trust Ryo. This is all too convenient for him. He definitely is holding something back, but I have no idea what it is. Normally I'm better at getting a read. Or maybe my own dishonesty is reflecting. I haven't really told you everything either. There's a couple of secrets I've hidden. Wait, did you say secrets? Sam must have heard and proceeds to intrude. Wow, everybody involved was certainly at the tavern. I guess I'd be getting one hell of a send-off. Go away, Sam. Nobody asked you. You're not making any money off of me today. This is personal business, nothing sellable. I'll pretend I didn't hear that, PB. Every piece of information can be sold. You just need to find the right buyer. PB clenches his fist and fumes with anger. You know what? Never mind. It wouldn't have been productive anyway. There's more pressing matters at hand. You're going to the Royal Ball, right? I managed to secure a carriage for you. Some local townspeople will take you there. You'll be visiting the castle in style. But the Savior would settle for no less. You'll surely turn heads when you arrive. Wait, a carriage and townspeople? Does he mean something like a rickshaw? Yeah, it's a symbol of status. Don't worry about it too much. You'll have to travel light. Ryo has already pleaded with me, so you'll have one room for one more. The rest of us are going to stay behind. We don't want to make you feel pressured, but we're expecting you back ASAP. And then you can tell us what Velasquez wants. We'll all share drinks when this is over. Yeah, I know. Like, she's certainly the most female character in the entire game. How many female characters are there in this game anyway? Like, there's her. God, I am hard pressed to think of another one. Somebody remind me in the comments who is a female character other than Sam? Other than the fox here. I'm having a hard time remembering. That just shows you it's like there's a lot of male characters in this game, and that's I think that's something that's a critique on furry art and works in general. It's like too many male characters, guys. Come on, diversify it a little bit. Anyway, I'll share drinks before it's over, but now just relax and enjoy the ball with whoever you chose to take along. He means you have to take a date. If I could be so bold, I suggest myself. I did save you from that cell, after all. The castle must be loaded with secrets. It's not every day they open the gates. This is a huge opportunity for me, Tantroo. If I went with you, I'd blend in more. You'd take the attention away from me. As if he was listening, Conrad barges in. Did I just hear what I think I heard? Sam expects you to take her to the ball? Yeah, right. This has always been my duty. Tantroo, I have to take you to the king. It's been like that since day one. I have to finish what we started. This isn't what Andymon would want. I need to see our goal complete. There's so much more at stake here. Don't be deceived by his words, Savior. He's after the money, just like I am. Velasquez promised him lots of cash. I doubt he actually cares about you. I'm just a little more transparent about it. No matter what, it's just about the money. That's not true. That's not true, Tantroo. I don't even care about the money. I just want to see this through together. I want to meet the king. I want the king to see me successful. I want him to know that I helped. And I want to do it with my friend. They both stare at me expectantly. So, it would be me, Ryo, and one of these two. I contemplate for a few moments before answering. Major decision time, guys! So do we take the assassin fox dude who has a strange color palette? Or do we take the greedy fox lady with long, flowing red hair? Conrad, Sam. Oh, we have. Oh, this is a hot one. This is not a contested one. Tato wants Conrad. Golden Bonnie wants Sam. So, it looks like you get this deciding vote, Mr. Strangelove. Since there's 3 active people in the chat. This is actually the closest vote I've ever had on this thing. It's so exciting. So exciting. Which one, dude? You want to take the fox dude or the foxy lady? Foxy. Either way, it's foxy. Foxy. Oh, Conrad is a likable character, sure. Sure, Sam's probably one who would abandon you. He wouldn't even take your number. It's like next morning you wake up, she's gone, and so is your wallet. Hard choice, isn't it, Strangelove? Gotta pick one though. I'm gonna give you till like I got what? I don't want to leave it hanging too much. Conrad wins. Sorry, Sam. I tell Conrad that I want to go with him. We started this together. We'd end it in the same way. That's what I thought. I'm so excited to see this through. I'll meet you outside when I'm ready.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'd say you made a huge mistake, Tantroo. We could have had so much fun together. But I guess it won't happen this time. Still, come back in one piece, alright? I think you'll have quite the story to tell.
They both walk away in different directions. Sam goes to the bar, Conrad goes upstairs. It seems he's happy that I chose to go with him. It just made more sense in my opinion. Well, I guess we'd be meeting outside. I turn to the door and start walking towards it. Before I can leave, Righty calls out to me. He ran from the bar to catch me before I left.
Wait. Hold on a moment. You can't leave just yet.
He catches his breath before continuing. This must be particularly important for him.
Fidget wanted me to give this to you. He's a little shy, so please forgive him. I told him he should do this himself.
He handed me a piece of paper that's folded up. My name is written on it. Was this a present?
I wish you the best of luck at the ball. Not all of us are going to be there. I have my own reasons for staying behind.
What? So you're saying, so Strangelove, you're saying if it was Righty and Sam would have been like, oh yeah, we're going to pick the dude with the axe. Anyways, probably to keep an eye on PB and Fidget. I nod at him and let him know I understand, but before I can look at the paper, Fidget approaches. Oh, hey, that's... I remember this guy's voice. This is a long time ago. It's what, episode 4 or something? That was a long time ago. So, but I think it was like a young, sort of like British boy.
Hey, Tantroo. I'm happy to see you're safe. A lot of people said you wouldn't make it, but I knew deep down inside you'd be fine. I just wish that everyone else is fine.
So yeah, I gotta turn down the volume a little. His theme song's pretty loud.
I heard about what happened to the others. It's sad when people have to go like that.
I nod and look at the both of them. I start to unfold the paper, but Righty interrupts.
I'll be leaving you two alone. But as I said before, good luck. There's a round on me when you get back.
Fidget looks a little uncomfortable without Righty. More stable right-hand man in that situation. So, of course, the stable right-hand man would be named Righty, right? Anyways, he shifts from side to side, avoiding eye contact.
Sorry, he helps me feel less shy. I didn't expect him to walk away like that. But I did draw a nice picture for you. You're free to look at it if you like. I think it might be my best one yet.
A slight blush appears on his face as I open the paper. And he was definitely right. It was his best one yet. It's a drawing of me with Endymion and Kaboo. We're holding hands and wearing big smiles on our faces. That's kind of morbid because it's like I'm the only one that's left alive in that picture. Ah.
I hope that I drew Kaboo correctly. Brady only told me that he was blue. So I made up the rest as I went. I got the idea after talking to Ryo. He said you might bring them back. That's why you're all so happy. I think that's exactly what would happen. No one would be sad anymore. That's what it would be like with my mom.
Oh gosh, I don't even remember your voice. There was another female character. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, she was a klutz, I think. She was like doing the glasses, like, and she was like a very klutzy sort of barmaid sort of character or something. Hey Fidget, hey Tantroo. Thought I'd come see you off. You're the talk of the tavern, you know. Trish enters the conversation with a wide grin. She probably noticed that I was talking with Fidget. Oh yeah, there was Jade too. There was Jade, the talking crow lady. Yeah, that was a long time ago. She hasn't had a speaking role in like a while. Trish enters the conversation with a wide grin. She probably noticed that I was talking to Fidget. As far as I remember, these two always stayed close.
Hey Trish, I was just finishing up. I wasn't skipping lessons again, I swear.
It's okay, Fidget. No need to worry. Today has been quite a big day, hasn't it? Isn't it? I wish I could go to the Royal Ball.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. I'd like to meet the king one more time. He'd definitely know where Mom is.
Trish laughs nervously and rubs the top of his head. You can run along now, Fidget. I need to talk with Tantroo. Make sure to say goodbye, though.
Goodbye, Tantroo. I hope you have lots of fun at the ball. I'll be here waiting when you get back.
He runs off excitedly and Trish lets out a sigh. I could tell she's holding something back all along. Listen, I'm gonna be blunt here. Ryo told us about your role. He said he might bring back the dead. I never could have said this besides Fidget. But we've all faced it a long time ago. His mother has been dead for a while now. He's never been able to accept it, though. He's always has one fantasy or another. Instead of telling him we play along, we could never stand to see him sad. Telling him the truth would crush him, but with you, things may change. If what Ryo said was actually true, could you please bring back their mom? I hope that's not asking too much of you. I shake my head, telling her that it's fine. If the power was with me, I'd bring everybody back. Trish wouldn't have to worry about Fidget anymore. No, Trish is an actual she. Yes, and Jade was, and Sam is a she. Like, those are the three female characters that I know. Thank you very much, Tantroo. It breaks my heart to see him like this. He draws his mom every day. He says he'll show her when she gets back, but we all know what the real situation is. She'll never see what he did. That is, unless you make it a reality. She walks away with a smile, returning to the bar. Everyone here was counting on me for something. I couldn't let them down. I had to succeed. I turned to leave, hearing the sound of revels behind me. I guess my next stop was the carriage, then the castle. As I leave the tavern, one final fact dawns on me. After this, I may never get to see my friends again. Did you save your game? Yes. This one had a choice, and a big choice at that. Big choice. When I get outside, I immediately notice the carriage. My mind snaps back to Tokyo when I first saw the limo. It seems that stylish travel looks different in Terra. So he's bookending. Ah, good job with the bookends. I sure hope things ended up the way Ryo predicted. An end to suffering, the resurrection of our friends. That would surely be a worthy end to my journey. It feels like it's been a lot longer than it actually has. Oh gosh, yeah, with all this, yeah, savior nonsense, yeah. It's like, oh, the Tantroo's the savior. It's like, yeah, it's like all of a sudden it's like, man, religion and everything. That's gonna be weird. Having like your characters like being as like churches and stuff. Oof. Hopefully there's no holy wars over me then. Anyways, there was a part of me that was eager to see this to the end, but there was a part of me that didn't want to let it go. I don't know which was winning that fight in my mind right now. Hey, sorry if I kept you waiting. Had to talk with everybody first. It's weird since we're coming right back. At least I hope we are. I don't know what Velasquez has planned, but I know we're in for one great party. But you know, regardless of my goal, I'm glad I could attend it with you. We'll have fun before you see Velasquez. Anyways, I'm sitting up top. You could sit in the back with Ryo. I'm sure you have lots to talk about. He pats me on the back and jumps on top of the carriage. I guess he'd be giving directions to the drivers. Moments later, Ryo exits the tavern doors.
Wow, awfully bright out here. I don't think I've ever been under the sun. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I know there's a lot I haven't done. I guess now I'm free to try everything. And it's all thanks to you, Tantroo.
The Tantroo-sades? Oh, the poor people. Don't be kicking people over. What is this cat? Tantroo-sades. That's a horrible pun. Horrible puns are my job, sir. He gives me a warm smile before walking into the carriage. While walking to the carriage. I wonder how long it would take to get to the castle.
Would you care to join me? I'm sure we can keep each other company. No shortage of things to talk about.
After saying this, he enters the carriage. I follow up behind him, climbing in the back. The carriage is much bigger on the inside. Flashbacks to the limo ride play even more in my head. Ryo is sitting comfortably on one side in silence.
I'd take a seat if I were you. Shouldn't be standing when we start moving. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
He gestures over the open seat in front of him. Without pause, I take a seat and looks towards him. Says the guy with the hoodie.
Not sure how long of a ride we have. I've only visited the castle in suspension. I never left Velasquez's throne room.
He rests his back in the seat, sighing heavily.
I never thought I'd live to see this day. We watched over Terra for millions of years. To think that change will finally come. I couldn't possibly be more excited. Everything is about to come together. This day will be remembered for eternity.
Talk about putting on the pressure, Ryo.
Velasquez will be quite happy to see you. He's been waiting for a very long time. I expect he has quite the feast ready. It's not too often that he opens the gates. The last time was the Exodus project.
Yeah, who's the we? Like the royal we? Oh, yeah, yeah. It's literally the royal we. We as in watching the... I did have that question in my mind too. When he was saying we watched over Terra for a long time, he means Velasquez and himself. It did catch me a little bit too, but then I was like, oh, okay. He's referring to the royal we, but not really the royal we, but actually two people. So, of course, it didn't go as planned, the Exodus project. The carriage shakes as we start to move. I'm reminded of the train started back up again. Ryle crosses his arms, unaffected by this change. Oh, this is heavy bookending. Like, this is so heavy bookending. I wonder if Chapter 10 is, like, really, 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 really short. Because it's like, first we went back to the limo, and then we went back to the train. So, yeah. That's a depressing story, anyway. What else is there to talk about? I'm open for anything, really. I have a few ideas now that he's being more open. But the number one thing on my mind is his past. How did he become the ruler of the Ark? Where was he from, and what was his life like before? You want to know about my past, huh? You really are something else. Always taking an interest in others. Well, your bond with Ryo was strong enough. Yay! I suppose I can tell you a little bit. My memory is a little hazy, though, so I'll just start with what I can remember. I was created by Velasquez a long time ago, likely as a failsafe against Nami and Nagi. I'm positive that he thought this through. I mean, how could I harness the power? It's likely that I'm a living weapon, able to tap into it like their blades. They didn't know about me, or expect me, so they carelessly unleashed your power. They thought they had won so easily. Using your power, I sent you back. But this is where things get confusing. As you relived events, you got stronger. So I had to work with that in mind. Meaning, there's another truth to be told. I sent you back more times than I can count. Every time I did, your power grew. Unfortunately, many suffered repeatedly. Your journey hasn't exactly been easy. But you've been through so many cycles, made so many choices, met so many people. It was nice to watch you change it up. Every cycle had potential to be different, but some aspects were set in stone. Some? There was literally an episode where I played 2 whole hours without a single choice, Ryo. Don't give me that. Don't give it. See, I know what you're doing. You're doing this whole meta thing, man. Yeah. This actually, like, I did play Angels Without Wings, and I thought it was going to be too risque to play on this channel, but it actually isn't. It is more of a dating sim-ish kind of things. It does get pretty PG-13 in some places, but it doesn't really go into what I thought it was going to go into. So I did play that on my own because I didn't think it would be appropriate for YouTube, because I read some reviews and people seem to be, kind of like, well, this gets a little weird. But it plays the same sort of alternate timeline, repeated thing. I think, quite honestly, I haven't played this multiple times, but I think that the Angels with Scaly Wings actually does the repeated thing better. Particularly if I would have to play this one multiple times and it doesn't have scene skips, because literally this takes hours to play, and the Angels with Scaly Wings takes 2 or 3 hours to play the first time through, but then you can skip scenes and stuff, and it's kind of cool. So if you haven't played that one and you like visual novels, I would suggest it. But anyways, you were saying something, right, about meta gaming and cycles and stuff. Yes. Mainly the fact that people died. But these experiences made you stronger. Your power is far greater than it was, like a grain of sand becoming a desert. Unfortunately, it hurt me to watch this. I watched your friends die countless times. Sometimes it was Rook and others Keela. But Clace and Rocker always perished, along with Endymion and Kaboo. You came close to dying several times too. I watched Nagi stab you over and over. But every time I sent you back, I grew your power for almost an eternity. Angels with Scaly Wings. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be playing that one blind. I played it pretty much to completion. It's pretty cool. Like I do like sort of changing storylines, and that one does it really well. So I wouldn't be playing it blind. I'd probably have to do a hard reset on the game before I could start it up again. But it's also a visual novel one. That one was actually released this year as well. Jesus. Oh man, so many furry games this year. Sonic Forces may be coming out soon. Star Fox 2 was released, but that's for that stupid thing that no one can get a hold of. I grew your power for almost an eternity. I had to be certain you were strong enough. In the end, we'd only get one chance. If I broke the cycle, we couldn't go back. So, if you were hoping for another chance, you won't be getting one in the end. It's over if your power isn't strong enough. He keeps on revealing more and more, so I've been sucked reliving that cycle as well. From what he explained, I was thousands of years old, stuck in an infinite loop to grow my power. So I made different choices in the other cycles. He must have witnessed almost every single possibility. But this raises a lot more questions than it answers. Velasquez will have to tell you more, such as how you got your power to begin with. I am only responsible for nurturing it. But enough about that. We're here now. We don't need to think about the past. The future is what's more important to us. Oh, so yeah, Star Fox 2's ROM has always been in the wild. I mean, like the official release, though, quote-unquote official release of a game. It's a scary thing, though. It's like it's actually a longer development to release cycle than Duke Nukem Forever, and that just makes me go, what? That's crazy. I noticed that he dodged my question yet again. Is he lying, or does he truly not know his past? Well, I mean his past before this infinite cycle. Perhaps it's been so long he forgot about himself. You might be wondering about what I said. I told everyone you can revive the dead, of course. This is just my theory. I've witnessed so much death and rebirth, and I only received a portion of your power. I know that you can bring about change. I think we need to eliminate Nami and Nagi. Then maybe you could go back in time. We could change history without any worry. They've been a fixed point on this timeline. But if we can erase their existence, then we could really change things. But I'm getting ahead of myself. All I know is that your power is limitless. I told everyone what they wanted to hear. They are still mourning over loss, some longer than others. They need hope in this final dark hour. A great change is coming to Terra. It may affect more worlds. Archon has a lot of work on his plate. I trained him for what felt like years. It took him a long time to learn. To be honest, he had a lot on his mind. He kept asking about Max, over and over. But it wasn't out of worry or care. I think he wants to kill her, Tantroo. But he can't do that, no matter what. He can only visit her in suspended space. You must never kill anybody in that place. If someone dies in suspended space, well, they're gone from history. They simply cease to exist. I hope Acheron takes his duties seriously.
A grudge could cause extreme chaos. But this also supports my earlier theory. If someone can be erased from history, that just proves that history can be changed. If we do that, we can prevent deaths. Definitely at a point, as weird as it was, so what, we're gonna bring Nami and Nagi to the Ark and then kill him there? He was so fixated on raising the dead, it made me wonder if he lost anybody himself. And his desire was being reflected in his speech, but I quickly realized this is pointless speculation, especially since he can't seem to recall his past. The majority of his existence was spent helping me. In a way, he sacrificed himself for my cause. I'm sorry for my little rant, Tantroo. I usually come across like I know a lot, but honestly, we're on the same page. As he says those words, the carriage comes to a stop. We jerk back a little, caught off guard. Yeah, just removing someone for history, like, boom, you're gone. It's like, now what happens? Because literally, like, if Archon did remove Maxine from history, the issue would be, then it's a paradox, literally, because the only reason he's in the Ark is because of the competition he had with his sister and the setup with Ryo and stuff like that. So then it's like, well, without her then, there would have been no contest and you would be in the Ark, and then what happens? Alright, I guess there is one more thing. I told you about the true nature of Terra, how it houses the souls of the dead. I lied to Archon about the Ark's skills. I told him he could bring back the dead. But let's not make a big deal out of this. I told Archon the truth as well. The salvation of Terra rests with you. You may be the one to bring back the dead. He was fine with this information, so there's no bad blood between anybody. Whoa! Actually, no. Like, no. Sorry. That's a bit of a jump. That's a bit of a stretch. Literally, the entire reason for the contest was because you're going to have power of the Ark. You're going to have power to bring people back from the dead. And then he just, oh, well, I lied. You're not going to have power to bring back from the dead. Tantroo and Terra may be able to bring people back from the dead. And it's like... like, literally, like, the whole reason he did that contest with the killing and preventing people from getting killed, it's like, I want to bring people back. And it's like his parents, even. It's like, there would be some bad blood there. Just a tiny bit, just a scooch. Just a little bit. Just, anyways. Everything is finally out in the open. Jeez Louise. Without any explanation, he simply leaves the carriage. By the way, this has been like, what, the 5th time that Ryo's changed his story? Thanks, man. You're an honest good guy. I jump out and follow, but I don't think I'm fast enough. I look in every direction once I exit the carriage. But for the life of me, I can't see Ryo anymore. Perhaps he just ran off to the castle on his own? He'd get to meet Velasquez for the first time, too. Well, actually, no, because they've been working together for a while. He just said that. Hey there, Tantroo. It's a pretty sight, wouldn't you say? I see it all the time, but I still love it. He gestures broadly towards the castle with a smile. Then a moment later, he jumps down from the carriage. What do you say? You ready? We'll have to do our best to blend in. We don't get to skip the line or anything. I nod and look up towards the castle. It's true. This definitely was a sight to behold. Like something you'd see in the history books, but this time, I would be a part of that history. That's how history works, dumbass. Everyone's a part of it. You can't escape it. I could see quite the lineup too. We should get going so we're out late. I'd hate to miss the king's big speech. He starts power walking. Sorry. It just seems so weird seeing the word power walking in front of a castle for some reason. It's just... Anyways.
towards the castle gates. I have no choice but to follow, so I run after him. After everything that happened, I was finally here. Check the save game. Yes. There was no choices there, just a long, meandering story about how you lied to me again, Ryo. Why are you lying to me all the time, Ryo? But we wouldn't have to get in without a wait. We stood in line with almost 100 people, with hundreds of people. It seemed like everyone in Terra was here. There was way more people than I saw back in Ryo. Power waking. With every moment, we get a little closer. I notice a couple of guards standing at the gate. They're guarding someone who is greeting guests. Wait, is that Leto? I always wanted to meet that guy. He's a legend around here, you know. Seems like Conrad is genuinely excited to meet him. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him like this before. He must be a fan or something of the sort. I asked him for more information to pass the time. He has this way of reading you. He can predict the future or something. I've heard that he's scarily accurate. I never expected to see him here. Hey, Tantroo, get out some money. I'd love to have him read our fortunes. I have money? What money would I pay with him, exactly? I don't even know what the currency is on Terra. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I don't have any money either. Velasquez is supposed to pay me. He crosses his arms as we continue chatting together. After we pass more time, we arrive at the gates. Sure enough, we're greeted by this Leto. Oh, this is a new character entirely.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to the castle. Velasquez welcomes everybody to his home. Today we learn the future of Terra.
That sounds pretty awesome, Leto. I'm Conrad, and this is Tantroo. You must have heard about my friend.
Oh, this is Tantroo. Yes, Velasquez told me about him personally. No specifics, just he's really important. So that doesn't place you above the rest. But that doesn't place you above the rest. I'm here to do my readings of the future. Everyone needs to know what awaits them. Velasquez has promised a brand new start. So today, the readings are on him. Everyone is sharing their stories inside. We're looking towards a brighter future. He'll be revealing the future to Terra, but I will get a little more personal. We'll find out what awaits you, too.
That is so cool. I can't wait to hear. I've always wanted to get the reading done. I'm really glad to know we don't have to pay, because I don't have any money.
It seems like today everything is free. Velasquez will no longer hold anything back, so who'll get their reading done first?
Me! Because Conrad leaps forwards and offers Leto his hand. So this involves him grabbing your hand? It's almost like Conrad knew exactly what to do.
I'm glad to see someone so eager. Few people have been very rude so far. But either way, let's not wait any longer.
Leto grips his hand and holds it together tightly. Then he closes his eyes and remains silent. I guess his reading required the utmost focus.
I sense that you're lost, Conrad. Perhaps things have changed for you. You're scared of what you might become. But there's no need to be afraid, Conrad. In your future, you are very happy. Your adventure has only just begun. You're going to do lots of traveling. You'll make some notable discoveries. Those discoveries will benefit the world. And you won't be doing it alone. So there's no chance of you losing your path. The way you feel now is only temporary. I can tell you've lost a loved one. But they're not truly gone, it seems. They'll find new life within you. You might become more like them. Or perhaps you already started to. This person helped make you who you are. You might become more like them. Or perhaps you already started to. Didn't we just say that? This person helped you make... Oh my gosh, what the heck?
Hold on. You just repeated yourself like 5 times, dude. Whoa. What? Did you beta test this, guys? So was that purposeful, or was that like, oops, I accidentally repeated the same dialogue box like 5 times, accidentally. I don't need to walk around in circles, walk around. Anyways, drawing attention away from that, he releases his grips on Conrad's hand. It was over. Conrad looks both happy and confused at what he heard. Not trial or shooting, man, but seems like the future's awesome. I have no objections to anything I heard. I wonder what yours will be like, Tantroo. Maybe our futures will cross paths. I'm pumped to think about it. Wow, he's more eager than I thought. But I did forget to let you know. The last quest requests an audience, Tantroo. Turns to me and gives me a wild smile. He'd like to see you before his speech. So please go to the throne room once inside. That is, after I take your hand, of course. I offer him my hand just like Conrad did earlier. Yeah, there's a lot of puns, but it's a free channel, I guess that's what happens with the puns. He grips it tightly and closes his eyes. Squeezed a little tighter like it's not working. In fact, this seems more intense than Conrad's reading. He shifts in place a little, almost uncomfortably. I must apologize, this is difficult. Normally, I can do this naturally. But there's just a lot to process here. I look at Conrad as we exchange awkward glances, but before I can speak up, Leotu pulls back. Well then, that was something else. Thanks for letting me read you, Tantroo. Wait, what? I asked him what he saw. Enjoy your stay in the castle. Please see Velasquez as soon as you can. Let's not hold up the line any longer. The guards beside him open up the gates. We're pushed inside without any warning. I turn back, but they quickly lock us in. So much death. Well, that's great. Death just follows you wherever you go. Death, 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 death. And puns. Death and puns. It's the only things true in life. Well, that was definitely weird. Maybe he didn't like what he saw. Never heard of a reader backing out. Not to make you worry, Tantroo. Maybe he just noticed the long lineup. Rushed us in here to stay on schedule. I have to admit, there was something off about Leotu. If he didn't like what he saw, that was an ill omen. Especially given my role as the savior of Terra. But I shrug it off. I don't believe in that anyway. Whatever happened next, Leotu could never predict. Especially if Ryo was right about my true potential. To kill everyone, apparently, because there's so much death. Looks just like it did when I left. I just sure wish Andymon were here right now. Our mission. We finally succeeded. He smiles as he examines the royal halls. It must feel good for him to get back. This was what he's been trying to do all along. Guess everyone's going to the ballroom. I don't blame them. That's the best place. There's something familiar about this song. It sounds very similar to the Final Fantasy I castle theme. Must be I'm hearing things. But it's different enough where I can't say it's a one-to-one or a remake or anything like that, but it's similar enough to that song. that it's giving me Final Fantasy 1 flashbacks. Anyways, the rest of the castle isn't as pretty. He points to where the crowd of people were walking. I guess that's where the real party would be happening. Oh, but I guess you have other plans. You have to meet with the king, right? I guess we can't waste time like they can. That's a shame, though. It's amazing. And it's so full of people. If only we can put the world on pause. I wonder if my meeting with Velasquez could wait. Conrad is definitely making the party sound amazing. Should I see the king now or ask Conrad to the ball? Choice will affect the flow of the story. So are we gonna partay with Conrad, or are we just gonna go off to... It's like, dang, now I hear it too. Yeah, I know, right? It's like once you hear it, like once you hear the Final Fantasy, you can't get it out of your head. Yeah, so what is it gonna be? Let's check out the ballroom, or... Well, I'm off to see Velasquez. Got one vote for ballroom. I'm guessing this one. I'm betting I know which direction this one's gonna go in. That's 2 ballrooms, and yeah, I pretty much figured it was gonna be ballroom. So I suggest that we go back out to the ballroom together. After all, this might be the only chance we get. Yep, there's 3 out of 3 ballrooms. It's unanimous. Woo. 3 balls. Enter everything you said. It sounds awesome. Wait, really? You want to go with me? Sorry, that caught me off guard. Well, we are in a castle after all. I suppose we can get a little off track. Especially if it's to show you around. But let's not tell Velasquez, alright? I wouldn't want to appear irresponsible. I might even have a drink or 2. We've had bad experiences with ballrooms, but I'd love to spend some time with you. Let's hope things go a little better now. He laughs once we start walking there together. As we leave, I look back at the grand staircase. After this, everything would come to an end. I'd go to the throne room and finally meet Velasquez. We enter the ballroom together and I look around. This place is massive. Bigger than I would have thought. It's packed with people, all wearing huge smiles. This must be the first time they've been inside as well. Well then, this is it. Looks different when it's packed. I used to come here to get alone time. He explains the room to me in vivid detail. He points to different areas as he talks about them. You can grab some food over there. I guess drinks are on the house today. The live orchestra is still preparing. So for now, the dance floor is empty. That's why everyone is off on the sides. I guess that's all there is to it. What would you like to do, Tantroo? I'm afraid the grand tour is over. It's not spectacular to begin with. I suppose we can just talk and whenever we can. That's what everyone else is doing, right? We can hang out together one last time. I'm sure he would want to relax before the big speech. Are you sure you don't have a thing for me? I mean, you're supposed to meet the king, but you'd rather spend time with me? Look at you, making me doubt things. Business and pleasure don't go together. At least that's what I've been taught. But then again, this isn't exactly normal. We barely even know each other, Tantroo, but I swear, the opposite feels true. We just met the other day in the forest, but I feel like I've known you forever. It's almost like we've lived this before. The orchestra starts playing and startling everybody. Conrad's ears pick up as the dance floor gets crowded. Sorry for rambling on like that. Things have been extraordinary. Feeling so many things at once. You should probably leave the ballroom. If you don't, they'll expect us to dance. And trust me, I'm not really good at it. I'll probably stay behind and grab a drink. You have an important meeting to attend to. I can't keep you behind like this anymore. It's true, I did have an important meeting. Perhaps coming to the ballroom was enough of a delay, but it would be nice to relax before the end of this. Something tells me that I have a lot of work to do. I know where you guys are gonna make. I know what ones you're gonna pick. I'm not even gonna bother asking, but I have to because I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna make them step on my big old flat roof feet. Of course you are gonna say that. Yep, it's already 2. So, yep. However, I definitely have time for a quick dance. I put my hand out and give Conrad an offer. One last dance before this all comes to an end. He looks at me awkwardly with a blush on his face. Wait, are you serious right now? Like I said, I don't even know how to dance. We just make fools out of ourselves. I gesture at the rest of the dancers in the room. Their moves aren't exactly Saya material either. Yeah, improv. It's likely they'd never been on a dance floor. And I know the dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. Anyways, they were just making the most of this moment. I guess you're right, actually. Perhaps we could give it a try. I've been described as graceful. Of course, that was about killing. I assume it's a little different from dancing. Now I'm just delaying, I'll admit it. He grabs my hand and we walk towards the dance floor. We quickly mimic the motions of the other people. Conrad looks anxious as we robotically move about. I hope they don't get the wrong idea, you know, because we're both guys. Terra's home to far worse than that. But I wouldn't do this with just anyone. Not even if anyone asked me to, you know. You're more special than most people here. The people on the dance floor grow up a little closer. Unfortunately for me, like, I don't know, this is just a personal take, but, like, I didn't feel anything with Conrad or feel any emotion built up over the course. Like, and I know the text is sort of like fragmented and that might not help things at all, but I know that with Max, if you sent Max here, obviously you get a chance to dance with her, and like these are like the two characters that really I don't feel much connection with. Ryo I feel more connection with. What's his name? Antimon I feel more connection with. Like those two characters I think I feel a lot more connected with than this guy and Sam, but yeah, the game knows I'm a male because of basically the chapter 3 or 4. Like the first time I arrived at Terra, what's his name? Conrad and Endymon gave me a quiz, and I was able to pick what my gender was. I was able to pick you know, what my personality archetype was, and apparently it claims that it affects the story a lot. I've only seen my gender referenced like 3 times in the entire duration of the game, which this was one of them. But anyways, people on the dance floor group up closer together. This pushes Conrad and I much closer to one another, but he doesn't complain as we continue dancing. Oh, they probably used the they pronoun because they were too lazy to program both. I think this was made with RPG Maker. Actually, I'm pretty dang sure it was. So it's possible that if you know what you're doing, you can hold a variable and hold it as a 0 or a 1. And basically, if you're 0, you're male. If you're 1, female. And then have the dialogue pop up, dialogue based upon whatever that toggle is. But it is tricky to program that, and if you're not used to doing it, you may use they quite frequently in order to kind of dodge having to do anything fancy in the text box. I've spent way too many hours in RPG Maker when I was a kid. Anyways, he doesn't complain, but as we continue dancing. In fact, you've left me conflicted. I have a little secret to tell you. It's been on my mind a lot lately. He looks away from me, blushing slightly more. This probably won't mean much to you, but if I was told to kill you, I couldn't. Even though it's my entire way of life. That sounded sweeter in my head. What I mean to say was I like you. You're not like anyone I've ever met. And that's what I've been thinking about. It's like my assassin days are behind me. I haven't killed anyone since we met. And after watching Endymon die, I don't want to do that anymore. I guess I'm going through some sort of crisis. It's just, we've been through a lot. It's making me look look differently at death. But then, what else am I good for? Maybe today will change my future too. Like I said, assassins may not be needed. Has me thinking about Leota's reading. It said something about an adventure? That I have a long journey ahead? And maybe I thought I went through a lot. But he seemed to know about Endymon. He mentioned that I lost somebody, and he said I'd take after them too. I can't imagine a bigger journey than this. I must have a real special future, but he never mentioned King Velasquez. Yeah, it just takes one dance and, oh man, I like you, man. You're great. He won't need me to kill anyone anymore. Does that mean he'll throw me away? Hope that's not the case, Tantroo. Though, I guess it's still all up in the air. Nothing is set in stone right now. But until Velasquez makes his speech. But even if the future is so uncertain, I'd really like you to be a part of mine. You're quite the unforgettable person. The orchestra stops playing and the floor clears up. But Conrad doesn't seem to notice and we stay close. I wish you the best of luck with the king. He's really a remarkable man, Tantroo. I'm sure you'll be very surprised. You can tell me about it afterwards. Maybe then I can talk to him about payment. I'd be able to afford a nice retirement. Perhaps that's the journey Leto mentioned. Not every adventure has to have hardship. It could be smooth sailing from now on. He smiles and we release our grip on one another. I guess the dance was over. The orchestra is done. We walk back to the side of the room for a final chat. Don't be afraid to ask him to slow down. The king knows how to talk an ear off. Make sure you take in every single detail. Oh, and if you could do me one more favor. Ask him if he still has a use for me. I'd like to know what my future holds. He walks away and starts to mingle with everyone else. But through it all, he has a wide smile on his face. I suppose he enjoys seeing the halls full once for once. With Endymon gone, he'd need a lot of company. I leave Conrad behind and walk back to the atrium. It's even more empty than it was before. Perhaps the sound of music lured people away. I examine the grand staircase resting in front of me. I place my foot on the bottom step and look up. It was happening. I'd finally meet the king. Everything I'd done, it's led up to this moment. I ascend the stairs, my mind hard at work. I imagine a million different scenarios in my head, but soon enough, I'd find out the truth about everything, what my power truly was, and what Velasquez wanted. When I reach the top of the stairs, I see a large door. Clearly, this was the throne room of Velasquez. I gulp audibly as I stare at its intricate design. It did a good job of making the inhabitants seem grand. I open the door with a large sense of hesitation, wondering what fate awaited me and all my friends. There was clearly a choice there. Two, actually.
I hope things are going well. I'm starting to worry, to be honest. Today's a big day for us all.
Kaylin, it'll be fine. You're worrying all over nothing. I'd say we got this one in the bag. Besides, you and Riley are both here. If anything happens, you'll protect us. We don't have anything to worry about.
Sorry, I guess you're right. Just been a little edgy lately. Being in prison, and then that big fight. Why didn't anyone come sooner? I sent mail for Endymon and Conrad. This could have all been avoided.
There's no point worrying over the past. Remember, the future is what's important, especially with what Tantroo is doing. I really believe in him, you know? He hasn't even been gone for that long. But I can already start to feel change.
I'll believe it when I see it, PB. And sorry, but I need to be excused. Some time alone would be great right now.
Whoa, what's gotten into him? Oh well, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Is everything okay, PB? Kaylin looked a little bit upset.
I'm sure everything will be fine. But I feel like we did more harm than good. Especially with what we did for Riley.
Well, he got what he deserved in the end. He won't be able to push us around anymore.
True, but innocent people died. And I'm scared it might not be over yet.
Just then, a visitor knocks on the tavern doors.
People can't read anymore. The sign says we're closed for the day.
In disregard to PB's declaration, they knock harder.
Don't worry, PB, I'll handle it. I don't think they're about to stop.
Fidget leaves his brother behind and goes to the door.
They keep knocking. It must be important. I hope it's Mom. Now that would be nice.
He slowly opens it to greet the persistent guest.
Hey there. Welcome to the Wayfarer. We were closed, but I'll help anyway. Is there something I could do for you today?
This is the female one, right? Nami Nagi, right? So what was my voice for her? It wasn't Sarabi, because I tried the Sarabi voice and it failed. So is this testament to father's failure? Built to satisfy an enraged population.
I'd say it's no longer needed, Nagi.
Correct as usual, sister. And no, we don't need any help. But you're a cute pest, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's a shame he had to get involved. Let's get this out of the way quickly, Nagi. I don't like killing the little ones.
Chapter 10, The Future We Create. This experience is surreal. I don't know how to feel. After everything I've been through, I'm finally here. A whirlwind of emotion takes me, and I panic. There are two thrones in this room, side by side. One is beautiful white, the other is dark black. I wonder, which one does Velasquez rule from? I scan the room and take in my surroundings. There's a part of me that finds this room familiar. Of course, I accept that it's an impossibility. There's no way I've ever been in here before. I'm not sure where Velasquez is, and this concerns me. But as if to startle, the door behind me slams shut. I quickly turn to look at the man clad in royal gear. It's finally happening. This is Velasquez. After all this time, you're finally here. I was starting to think you might not make it. Please, offer me your hand, Tantroo. He puts forth his hand and looks at me expectantly. It's not in my nature to leave a king waiting like this. I quickly put my hand forward and introduce myself. He has a firm grip, and happily leads the interaction. I know exactly who you are. There's no need for introductions today. If I'm not mistaken, you know me as well. He releases his grip on my hand and walks away. Moving towards the thrones, I promptly follow suit. However, he doesn't sit. He stands between them. I was told you met Nami and Nagi earlier. That must have been unfortunate. Errant children often cause headaches. He rests one hand on each of the thrones and sighs. Errant children? What did he mean by that? I get the feeling I'm not in for a short discussion. Oh god, coming from this game? Oh boy, guys, sit back and take a deep breath. Here we go. Honestly, I'm not sure where to start. I've envisioned this day for a long time, but now that we're here, I'm at a loss. I'm not sure whether you know the truth about Terra. A reservoir for the souls of the dead. My own personal heaven or hell. Things are a little more complex, however. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but permit me to speak before you inquire. You deserve to know the truth of things, so I will be nothing less than transparent. Unlike Ryu, that little conniving bastard. Please sit tight and let me tell you my tale. The people know I'm not from Terra, but they don't know my true origin, nor the reason I've lived an eternity. I come from a large federation of worlds, a galactic community living in harmony. Of course, this was millions of years ago. I can no longer be certain of their status. Terra does not exist in the same space. So I've been out of contact for a long time. Earth as well cannot reach out. We are in our own reality plane. Billions of these closed-off spaces exist. They are given complete autonomy. You could say that they get stranded, unable to return to the Federation. When I left it behind, it was hurting. We were in need of new sources of energy, so they looked to the brightest minds. They gave these visionaries world stones, the technology to create these planes, and the ability to shape their own reality. It was their job to found a utopia, to create a new source of energy, something that can help us stay afloat. And if they did make a new energy source, they'd use it to break out of their plane. They'd present this power to the Federation. But the power required would be vast. Breaking free would be a sign of success. Otherwise, they'd be stranded forever. Though, that wasn't really a bad thing. That was the secret nature of this project. If the Federation died, we would live. Their catastrophe would not reach us inside, and we would only break out if we succeeded. It was a failsafe in both directions. Yes, I received several of these stones. I used them to try to save the Federation, but instead, I caused so much disaster. The first thing I did was create Terra, a place for me to hide if things failed. My very own utopia away from harm. Then I had to create another world, a world where I can conduct this experiment. After all, I was a Federation scientist, but I thought outside the box. If I created it, I knew it'd fail. I was uncertain and afraid. Our deepest feelings enter our creations. I couldn't paint this canvas with doubt. If I did, it would meet a quick end. So I created a sort of bridge, a place between worlds connecting them. Somewhere to experiment and watch from afar. A celestial observatory deck, as you would say. Close, yet too far for collateral damage. That's when I took the next step in my plan. I used the stones to create two beings. They were made in the image of perfection. They wouldn't have the doubt that I did. Their sole purpose was to succeed. Error wasn't in their nature. they'd surely carry out my goal. Yes, I created Nami and Nagi. I created Terra and the Ark as well, all with the power of these world stones. After that, I fixed the stones to a spear, and I gave my creations a special gift, the ability to create a perfect world. They made what would become Earth. Standing on the bridge, they used the spear. They fulfilled the duties I created them for. But I've learned that perfection is fleeting. Or at least sabotaged by our own curiosity. They wanted to know more about themselves. This desire for knowledge hurt the Earth. They started to neglect their duties. I had no choice. I had to open up to them. But they were not accepting of the truth. We were all thralls of the Federation. They said they'd rather not exist. I felt guilt for creating them. They only lived to serve the Federation, but instead of guilt, they felt anger. I couldn't stand up to them. They embodied the powers of the stones, and they had held a weaponized version too. I begged them not to kill me, but they said they had far worse plans. They'd make the Federation suffer first. They wanted to see who was playing God, who was condemning people to these fates, even if it was for the greater good. I'm sure they would want to kill them. They'd seek to tear the Federation apart. They were convinced this was just a just cause. To that end, they broke free. You see, the stones weren't living beings. They couldn't grow stronger with experience, but Nami and Nagi could, and did. I cursed the fact that I created them. My abstract thinking condemned us all. But they didn't just leave me behind. They engaged in a ritual before they left, something to curse me for what I had done. They used the spear to plague Earth. Disease, famine, death, darkness. They wreaked havoc on what we created. This broke the sphere into 3 fragments. 2 of them are the weapons they carry. The third, they hid away from me on Earth. They told me they'd return one day, after they met the Federation's leader. That's when they would finish me off. They wanted me to suffer for eternity, watch Earth fall apart from their curse. I'd see my entire cause fall before me. They had the power to destroy the galaxy. They'd rampage and search for the Federation, and I'd never get that 3rd fragment. My creation would crumble before me, they would destroy the people I served, and then they would come back to kill me. At least, that's what they thought. But I'm not what you'd call foolish. I didn't give them all of the world stones. I kept some to myself, a contingency plan. But this time I did the opposite. I created a being to help me rule Earth. However, I didn't model them to be perfect. I wouldn't hold them to such standards, but together we would rule over the worlds. They would call the Ark their home. Ryo was a fine ruler and son. He helped govern Nagi and Nami's curse. He was in control of the force of death. This helped Earth stay correctly populated. He could even prevent the spread of disease. He kept the balance of things in check. But I noticed something peculiar, a byproduct of my children using stones. Death had an aspect of power to it. When someone died, energy was released. I don't know how to explain this, but it was an unfathomable amount. I guess you could call it a spirit, but we had no way to utilize that energy, so the spirit simply withered and vanished. At that point, Ryo had an idea. Their spirits could find form on Terra. When they died, they'd come to my paradise. I agreed without a moment's hesitation. We put it into effect as soon as we could. I used the last of my world stones for this, but I knew that they would be worth it. The energy started to flow through Terra. When they arrived, we wiped their memory. We made them think that they fled their home. They wanted to start a new life anew on Terra. Their life energy would no longer be wasted. We even created a questionnaire for them. They told us their likes, and we catered. Terra had its own laws of reality. It expanded to accommodate this traffic. You could call it a growing paradise. This is what gave Terra its image. We were always open for immigration. However, they were only coming from Earth. I did have an ulterior motive, though. I wanted to grow this power on Terra. Maybe one day it'd be enough to escape. Then I could help the Federation, or if there's anything left of it. I had no way of seeing the situation. But it didn't work as I intended. The power was far too diluted. I needed a way to concentrate it. However, I had other things to worry about. The traffic was starting to corrupt Terra. Nami and Nagi's curse was spreading quickly. The more people died, the worse it got. It even corrupted Ryo into what he is now. Warped his powers, gave him more abilities. Terra got the brunt of it, though. Disease, famine, death, it all came here. And no longer was the world expanding. It turned my paradise into a living hell. We became overpopulated very quickly. You couldn't walk without hitting someone. This made me realize something shocking. Nami and Nagi would be gathering power. Their rampage would result in lots of death. But they held the ability to concentrate it. If I wanted that, I'll need a fragment. So Ryo and I started looking thoroughly. We looked and searched all over Earth, in constant fear of Nagi and Nagi's power. They had far too much of a head start. Eventually, we found the fragments. With everything in place, we planned. How do you grow enough power to stop them? We had to set a trap. They could likely sense energy, so we needed enough to lure them back. But my past has taught me one thing. The stones on my scepter were not enough. I needed to make something living. Something that could grow exponentially. So the third fragment was a scepter? As unbelievable as it is, I was following along. Actually, I'm not, so... You're doing better than me! He had a way of explaining things in a clear fashion. Well, sort of, kind of, but... Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Basically, we wanted to lure them back. We'd unleash our power and tap into theirs. After all, they were harvesting too. I had to assume they had more power, so we only needed to get their attention. When they came, we'd spring the trap. Everything would be present in one room. All three fragments, them, and our lure. A battle would likely ensue, but everything would be connected. We can unleash every bit of power. That's when I'd break free from here. But I wouldn't stop at just that. I'd go to break out every reality plane. It could be a massive chain reaction. And in the end, we'd all be free. We could live in harmony like before. We'd open trade routes and help each other. All of the connections would be open. This was always been my goal, Tantroo. The Federation would live on, and billions of worlds would coexist. I'd do what no one else could accomplish. That's what I told people, too. I was just selective in my wording. They could never know their true nature. Okay, let me make sure I got this straight. He created gods, and they went on to rebel. They cursed the earth, so Velasquez made Ryo, but eventually Terra became cursed as well. Nami and Nagi wanted to destroy the Federation, so they were likely harvesting energy from death. This means that they were destroying reality planes. Velasquez wanted to kill them and save the Federation, but he couldn't just stop saving the Federation. He'd give freedom to all of the reality planes. This would put them into the same physical space. A new universe would be born, completely connected, yada yada. If that were to happen, he'd need to lure them back. This meant concentrating power into his own vessel. If they came to harvest it, a battle would ensue. All the power in a single room would be unleashed. This is what Velasquez would carry out his plan. He'd combine his energy with the energy they harvest. It would be like when Nagi tried to unleash my power. However, instead of destruction, it would be liberation. And this is when one incredible fact dawned on me. Yes, I see you figured it out. About 10 years ago, I started a movement. I presented it as the Exodus Project. I promised I'd open all the connections. It was always destined to fail, Tantroo. At least the public would see it that way. But from my view, I set things in motion. I gathered many of Terra's brightest minds, much like the Federation did in the past. Together, we'd plan a course of action. We needed to create a living being, a vessel with the power of a world stone. Such a feat seemed almost impossible. But one night, I was struck by inspiration, a method that would surely accomplish this. Of course, I could never tell the others. It involved their sacrifice, Tantroo. I killed them and stored them in my staff, until I had enough power to serve my goal. I'm not proud of my actions. I didn't want to take after Nami and Nagi, but I needed enough power to create a lure. You're a murderer. Then Velasquez could be in Bridget's mother? That's a horrible thing to do. I'm shocked. Wait, how do I know it's a... Wait, what? Don't jump to conclusion. I was about to say, wait, we killed his mother. What? Don't jump to conclusion. They're still alive and well, just held within the vessel I created. And that's where I was quite dishonest. The Exodus Project was not a failure. In fact, it created you. Confusion intensifies. I started to panic. That was the last thing I expected. This feeling must be akin to what Nami and Nagi felt. Am I just a pawn of Velasquez of the Federation? Please, my child, do not panic. It's not as complicated as you think. Allow me to continue explaining. You were to help Terra's overpopulation. You'd take a fraction of Earth Soul's exposition. Man, holy crap. This would ease our trouble and grow power. But when Terra... We get lied to a lot. Yeah, this game is full of that, isn't it? It's like... Actually, Velasquez didn't really have a chance to lie to me because this is like our first time meeting. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you know, Fidget's mother. By the way, that's gonna be hard grading. I couldn't tell Fidget. It's like, Fidget, your mother died so that I may live. You don't mean that, you dirty, dirty bastard. Oh no, poor Fidget. But when a Terran died, they faded away. The remaining power ended up wasted. So I made that go to you as well. I couldn't stop immigration completely, so I found a slight loophole, if you will. All the power would still end up inside you. You house the souls of billions. There is limitless power within you, the most beautiful of my creations. I don't know how to feel. This doesn't make any sense. What about my memories and my name? I know this must be a shocking revelation, but all of these souls fight for dominance. You may inherit their memories or ideals. Your true name is not Tantroo McNally. One of the lost souls gave you this moniker. Someone strong enough to influence you. And control you they did, for a while now. But the other souls still fought this. You might have noticed some inner conflict. Maybe you said something you didn't mean. Or maybe I asked the audience to vote for frickin' choices that I didn't make any choices on this journey. You guys did. It's your fault. Yeah, see, I was just a hopeless thing. You're like, no, you're gonna dance with that stupid Conrad person. Anyways, maybe you said something you didn't mean, or thoughts that seemed unlike you. If not, then I'd consider yourself lucky. You have a sort of omnipotence. You can see events happening away from you. much like Ryo has his special sight. Okay, now they're explaining the whole, like, that critique I had earlier. They're closing a loophole about that whole, like, I'm seeing things happen that are not around me and it doesn't make sense, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So he closed that particular narrative sort of loophole, I suppose. Still, some of the things that you chose to show and not tell, like, I wish you showed and didn't tell, like, that Maxine and Archon sort of conflict thing, you know, that, yeah. Anyways. But you do not retain this information. Only the souls that witness it do. It's weird, knowing and not knowing. That would be the source of any doubt. Memories conflicting with Tantroo's soul. It would definitely make you seem ignorant. But you are nothing of the sort, my child, and you won't hold these souls forever. You'll have freedom when the battle is over. You'll be able to retain your physical form, but you'll hold on to the strongest soul. You'll truly become Tantroo, quote unquote. This is if there is enough power, so we must hope you are strong enough, and that Nami and Nagi have enough as well. I don't think I've ever been any more confused. So I was an amalgamation of billions of souls, and Tantroo was just the name of the strongest soul within. I didn't like this, but I could gain my independence. And it explained how I met with people who have died. They must have been stored in me as well as the vessel. There had to be a way to release them or revive them. I noticed he doesn't mention Ryo or his plan. Was he keeping that a secret, even from Velasquez? If that's the case, I feel good about my odds. Ryo's been growing this power for an eternity. But Ryo told me that he didn't know what my power was. It's odd that sending souls to Terra was his idea. It wasn't a hard connection to make if you knew. They were both aware of the energy death created. I've been reading so many words and so many plot things right now, my brain is just frying. It's like... It could be another liar, maybe he forgot. He'd been living the same cycle over and over again. His only objective was to grow the power within me. I feel unworthy of such devotion, even from Ryo. But yes, that's my story. Now you know the entire truth. You were made to fight Nami and Nagi. You'll defeat them and unleash the power. Then, you can reshape reality as you wish. You don't have to take after my ideals, but I know there is no evil within you, so the universe is in capable hands. I trust your judgment, Tantroo McNally. Just then, the throne room door is kicked open. I didn't even get a chance to process all this, but in this moment, I realized I'd never get to. Nami strolls up down the red carpet towards us.
What a beautiful story, Father. Obviously warped in your favor. Don't listen to him, Tantroo.
Nami, it is not time, yet time. I'm speaking with my child. We have much to discuss.
So the Exodus project made you, huh? I knew there was something about you, but I wasn't able to make the connection. Father mentioned the project succeeded, but I didn't know you were its creation. A living vessel, just like Nagi and I. You can't be the only one, though. We would have won in that ball. We should have won in that ballroom. Someone tapped into the flow of power. Father, you're a horrible man. You went on to create more slaves. When did you learn your lesson?
I did, Nami. I truly did. That is why Tantroo and Ryo won't fail. I've placed all my hope on them.
So the other one's called Ryo. Another name to add to my list. None have been able to escape my wrath, Father. You are a foolish man. I can't believe Tantroo would trust you. You only create others for your own gain.
Nami looks at me, displaying signs of sadness. She lowers her throat as if to show a lack of hostility.
Father is a pawn, creating more pawns. He doesn't love his creations. If they rebel, he just wants to kill them. I'm sure he's planning our demise. And it's likely he wants to use you. That's all he ever does, use people. All of the Earth, and all of Terra, is full of pawns to achieve his goal. Renewed sustenance for the Federation. Nobody here exists beyond that purpose. And that is the harsh truth of things. The Federations think they can play God. Or at least, they did think that.
What? Nami flourishes his sword before attacking Velasquez. She skewers the blade right through his gut, smirking. Looking straight into his eyes, she laughs.
Your Federation is no more, Father. Destroying it was almost too easy. Our sights have been much higher now. But I've waited so long for this. The chance to destroy your dreams and punish you for everything you've done.
Blood drops to the floor, and I look on in shock. I want to do something, but I can't come between them. I'm paralyzed in fear as I watch Nami kill Velasquez.
Nami, please.
We had such a hopeful existence. We had the potential to do anything. But in the end, we were slaves. I believe in a life of limitless purpose. Not a life planned out by a creator. You can't tie me down with your strings, Father. We lost all hope when you told us the truth. And now, I will do the same to you. Your Federation is gone, completely razed. You've waited millions of years, and it was all for nothing. No hope exists, and you cannot stop us.
Velasquez trembles, losing a severe amount of blood. There is distance between them, as the blade is so long.
No, Nami. You're wrong. Hope will always exist between us, even when it seems like there is none. It's up for us to chase after it. Instead of that, you gave up. Only those who preserve will survive.
He grabs the blade and pushes it deeper inside of him. It causes more pain, but closes the distance. He takes steps as he does this, moving towards Nami.
Father?
You lashed out instead of looking for hope. I am not to blame for your tantrum, but there's one thing I know for sure.
He impales himself further, taking more steps forward. A trail of blood spills behind him as he gets weaker.
You think you destroyed the Federation, but it's based on the idea of unity. And Nami, an idea can never die.
He's finally close enough to take action. He grips his scepter and drives it through her chest. She grunts in pain, twisting the blade within him. Velasquez coughs up blood as he turns to look at me. I knew this was over. He wasn't coming back.
Tantroo, the rest is up to you. Shape reality as you see fit. Do what I always knew you could.
Nami turns the gear of her blade, crying in pain. The room fills with a flash of white light, but I could see the look on their faces. Sorrow. Like a father and daughter regretting lost time. And when it subsides, they're both gone. The only thing remaining is Nami's sword on the ground. I walk towards it slowly with a sense of anxiety. Did all their energy merge into this blade? I kneel down to pick it up with an intense hesitation. If that was the case, its power was incredible. The power of Nami, the scepter, and myself. If anything could stop Nagi, it was this. But when I picked it up, I hear clapping behind me. Oh no, that's Nagi, isn't it? I turned to see Nagi standing by the throne room doors. He must have been watching, enjoying the show. His slow claps echo through the chambers. He walks towards me and takes out his blade. I do the same in turn, and we meet in the middle. We stand in front of each other's weapons outstretched. I could feel the beads of sweat make their way down my body.
Do you really think you can win, Tantroo? Remember what happened last time? You got lucky, but it won't happen twice.
I stand my ground and grip the sword tighter. Last time I didn't stand a chance, but with this sword, I might be able to win, especially if it's connected with the power within me.
We've harvested for an eternity, you know. You were only created a decade ago. What makes you think you're stronger? Nami was much weaker than I, and the scepter's power is almost gone. I don't see how you could defeat me. You may as well give up. Or at the very least, join me. Not everyone can wield that blade.
He's insane if he thinks I'd want to join him. He and Nami must have destroyed so many reality planes. The lives of countless billions were on his blade. I want to free them, not harvest more. But at the same time, he could easily defeat me. I'm not sure if I had enough power to stand up to him. There's a part of me inside of that wants to join him. The souls inside me must be fighting one another.
Conflicted, I presume? It's no surprise given what you are. We're not so different, you know. Tools, created by Father. No, tools created by the Federation. Only left with doubt when told the truth. If you didn't help him, he'd kill you. He did it to Nami without any hesitation. We are only fighting for our freedom.
He lowers his blade like Nami did earlier. Then he stares into my eyes and smiles.
Don't you want freedom too? Your destiny has never been your own. Everything has been decided for you. I'm not as evil as Father made me out to be. I just went against his horrific ideals. He believes that slavery is acceptable. It's not just my freedom that I desire the freedom for every living being. For that, the shackles must be destroyed. In this case, it was the Federation, and the scientists chosen as pawns. Believe me, they've been destroyed. But I realize there's even more. Our journey has been long, but I know it's nowhere near complete. There's nothing to connect anymore. We've harvested everything, Tantroo. Your reason to exist is now invalid. But trust me, I know that pain. Nami and I endured it for an eternity. All in the name of our noble goal. I can tell what you are thinking right now. So many souls contained within you, all fighting each other for dominance. Their viewpoints may always conflict, but one desire will be universal. They all want freedom to live again. I want that for you as well, Tantroo. But I won't just stop at you. I'll make sure everyone is truly free.
I can't tell if he's genuine or playing me. He sounds like, what the heck's that guy's name? Maester Seymour from Final Fantasy X. I'm going to free everyone. Everyone! By killing them. Whoa, crazy, crazy dude. Oh, man. Anyways, as he mentions inner conflict, my mind fires up. Millions of voices sound in my head, and it's insane. He uses this chance to start walking towards me. I can no longer grasp what thoughts are my own. Do I agree with Nagi, or do I oppose him? My grip on the blade tightens and then loosens. This confusion always allows him to keep approaching me.
I mean you no harm. We don't have to fight. Not yet. I'll give you a chance to decide. Father told you a twisted tale. He must have made me seem so evil.
Actually, your artist didn't do a very good job at making you seem not evil. Just saying. Just your concept artist, man. I mean, look at this. I mean, you got like demon bat wings on your chest, dude. I mean, look at this. Look at this. They look like blood stains and stuff, and it's all black armor, and you got this big old scar across your right eye. I mean, geez Louise, I'm not evil. I just have these red blade-looking things out of my shoulder pads. I mean, seriously, are we the baddies? I mean, for crying out loud, dude.
I look so evil. I'm not evil at all. I mean, I just have every evil person trope out there. I mean... Anyways, but I have a tale of my own, you know? I'm just a normal guy like everyone else. And I'd love to tell it to you.
He approaches me and puts his hand on my shoulder. I don't know if I'd even let someone who looked like that do that. I don't know. It feels like when Ryo did the same thing to me. It's familiar, yet a little worrisome. I don't think Nagi would be taking me to the Ark.
You'll get a chance to see my home.
I'm enveloped in a flash white of white light, much like when Nami spun the gear on her blade. But this is so different, we're moving. For a moment I wonder where he could be taking me. Ready to save game? Yes. And I don't think there was any decisions? No, there was no decisions. At an earlier time, and in a fit of panic, escapees from the Wayfarer towns hide in the forest. Fearing for their lives, they catch their breath.
PB, you need to calm down right now. We did everything we could. It's a miracle that we survived.
Don't you dare tell me to calm down. Did you not see the same thing I did? They killed my brother thanks to you.
This wasn't my fault, PB. You didn't see what those two could do. It would have been useless to contest them. Please think about this rationally. I am upset. More than I've ever been. But I didn't want to add to the body count.
Your job to protect us, though. You've been doing it for years, Righty. You can't just back down from a fight.
PB, I know this is difficult for you, but we'd all be dead if we fought back. They have power like I've never seen. We need to be thankful we escaped. I hope Trish and Kaylin did too. But trust me, Fidget's not gone yet.
They skewered him right in front of us. I held him in my arms before we ran away. How can you say he's not gone?
PB fumes with anger, but this time it's justified. Oh, it was justified before, I'm sure.
Remember what Ryo told us, PB? Tantroo has the ability to fix all of this. Right now, we need to focus on survival. This will all blow over soon enough. And we'll be able to see everybody again. Not just Fidget, but your mother too.
Do you really believe that, Righty?
Yes, with all my heart. I know that Tantroo can do this.
You're lying. You said we need to focus on survival. But then you said death is irrelevant, especially if Tantroo can reverse it. That's why I don't believe you. And why I think Fidget is really gone. You fear death. You don't want to die. You don't truly believe in Tantroo. You don't truly believe Ryo's words.
That's a part of you that... There's a part of you that knows the truth. Righty clenches his fist, unsure of what to say.
You're holding on to a false hope, just like Fidget's been doing for years. I miss him, Righty. I missed him so much. And it's all your fault.
He leaps towards her, presumably to attack, but instead he cries and hugs his friend. A fountain of tears runs down his face.
I want him back.
Righty embraces PB and starts to cry as well, shedding his first tears since the Exodus project. Question mark, question mark, question mark. That's always a good place. When I open my eyes, I'm confused at what I see. There's also a weird sensation at the back of my mind. For some reason, I think I see Righty and PB, but in front of me, I actually see a rusty bay hangar bay. I shake my head in an attempt to gain clarity. After a few moments, I notice Nagi approach me. Were Righty and PB in sort of danger? Well, if that was the case, I'm sure Nagi would know.
I'm sorry for the mess, Tantroo. This room doesn't get much use. I promise the rest of the ship is clean.
Rest of the ship? What does that mean?
This is my home, the Terminus. A flagship vessel built by the Federation, seized with force by my own hand. But please, follow me, Tantroo. This room doesn't benefit our conversation. It's merely an organic landing pad.
Organic landing pad?
Yes, it's able to transfer living beings, even if they are nowhere near the ship. As you can see, we don't get much company.
He laughs, clearly a jab at the dilapidated room. I understand, though, it's like being beamed up.
It's a reference. It's a Star Trek reference. It's sort of like the Federation, I suppose, is a Star Trek reference too. There's a lot of Star Trek references here, actually.
Apparently. But, anyways, he must have transferred us both from Terra's surface.
I think you'll find this place beautiful. First impressions can be a damning thing. You must have thought I was ugly at first.
Without even saying so, he started to leave the room, but I have no choice but to follow him with hesitation. I grip my new sword, ready to use it at any time, but when we exit, I see that it is truly beautiful. Lightsaber game, yes. Yeah, there was no choices there. Everything is pristine. It's glossy and white. Several computer monitors display incomprehensible data. This technology is so advanced I can barely grasp it. The Federation must be eons ahead of Earth and Terra. I stare in awe as I walk towards Nagi. He's walking fast, and I don't want to get lost. I have to run to catch up, as his stride is much longer.
I'm taking you to the bridge. I thought it'd be more fitting. No doubt you have a lot of questions. I heard what Father told you, but there's a lot more to it than that. Stories are rarely ever one-sided.
God, if you go on a long ramble, dude, my throat is going to die. It will D-I-E, die, dude. No. Let's not go, like, Velasquez, like, at least it was a natural tendency of my voice, so I could just make it a little deeper, but this guy's scratchy. Shit, dude, I'm gonna scratch at my vocal cords. We run from four corners and best to catch up. Nagi's demeanor is extremely different than I knew. I have some frightened me from my last meeting. A part of me fears that he might make a sudden move.
But I don't blame you, Exodus. Wait, is it okay if I call you that? I think it fits you better, to be honest. Father got to you first, it's a shame. Him and his people made a big impression. You're attached and less open-minded.
I have flashbacks of the first time I visited Terra. Righty got to Keela. Endymion and Conrad got to me. And at that time we sided with the opposite parties. I haven't thought about this correlation in my mind. But it couldn't have been as simple as that. It implies that there is no good or evil at play. Nagi attacked the Federation, he admitted to this. And to top it all off, he tried to kill me.
I have a reason for everything that I've done. You sat through Father's story, Exodus. I hope you can do the same for mine. And I'm going to kill your throat like a little bastard that I am. You won't be able to talk for days, bitch. Anyways, we're almost at the bridge. It won't be much longer now. We can end this without violence.
We turn a few more corners and I see a large door. It's likely the entrance to the bridge of the ship. Nagi keeps walking and it opens upon his approach. I quickly enter after him, hoping that it doesn't close. I knew one thing for sure, this is where it ended. You have reached the point of no return. You will no longer have the ability to save. Many scenes will start playing out in sequence. And sure, you have enough time to watch the finale. So where was the save point? Like, if you're going to tell me it's like you're reaching the point of no return, you're going to watch the end scene now. Do you want to save your game? Sure. You know, come on. And it's like, okay, nope. It's like now you're going to have, you're going to have to spend the time watching it now. Sorry, didn't get a save point. It's just a critique. Okay. So you're going to tell a man, it's like, you're gonna have to sit a while here and listen to this thing. You know, give him a chance to save after you make that statement. I mean, whatever. Anyways, as soon as I enter, I see Nagi standing at the terminal. I don't know what he's doing, but he does. But he sure does. I don't know what he's doing, but he sure does. His fingers tap away at a touchscreen with expertise. After a moment, the window seems to open. Actually, they fade into transparency. I'm welcomed to the void of space. An absolute black. It's littered with less stars than I'd expect.
It's actually kind of beautiful, isn't it? This is the edge of your reality plane. You can see outside, but that's it. You don't have the technology to escape, nor the ability to see this far. You're the first Earthling to witness this. All of those stars just out of reach. They're the Federation core world. But that's what you're seeing. But what you're seeing is only a memory. They're so far away, this is inaccurate. That light is millions of years old. We've long since destroyed those worlds. Honestly, I'm a little conflicted. From here, they look amazing. But you can see their flaws up close. If I could only see them like this, I never would have destroyed them. They'd still glisten like this today. But every candle dims into nothingness. And there is also beauty in that darkness. Something that most people hate to admit.
He rests his hands against the window and snickers. I guess he's overtaken by nostalgia at this sight. What the universe looked like before his onslaught. Then, a moment later, he turns to me and smiles.
I wish I could show you that darkness. Light is not as pure as people think. Those worlds shined with indecency.
He takes slow steps towards me. I want to ready my blade, but I don't. I sense sorrow and regret in his words. He wasn't going to attack me, I could tell.
I hate thinking about the past. It stirs up rage within my soul. But do you share the same rage as me? We were supposed to create a perfect world. But it wouldn't really be our world. It would be handed over to the Federation. And what would happen to us after that? We'd likely get discarded, thrown away. We had no purpose other than to listen. At first, we didn't know that. We happily made Earth to be perfect. We believed it was our will to do so. But free will did not exist for us. We were only doing what we were told to, even if we didn't know it at the time. We grew curious about our future. That is when we confronted Father. He told us the truth about everything. We lashed out at him in rage. We should have been free to live our lives, but instead, he created us as slaves. He didn't deserve to live in peace. That is why we performed our ritual. We cursed Earth with all manners of flaws. Death, disease, famine, you name it. He'd slowly watch his mission crumble. His scepter would be always out of reach. We let this guy named Donald Trump be elected president. Man, that was a big that was a big one. Anyways, Nami and I myself were able to break free, but we promised that one day we'd return. We'd kill him, and when his will was broken, that is when we embarked on our mission. We'd find the leader of the Federation and we'd kill him, breaking all the shackles. They'd never be able to do this again. Condemn worlds to their servitude. The reality planes should have been free. The core worlds were the first things we saw. They were in the worse shape than we thought, much more pathetic than Father let on. We touched down as soon as we could, but we were instantly greeted with violence. It was unfortunate, but we fought back. Then, that's when we found out the truth. Our weapons were plagued as well, likely from the same ritual on Earth. As we killed them, we grew stronger. We could convert life into raw energy. Suddenly our goal became more realistic. We began traversing all of these worlds, and saw the Federation's true nature. They could barely sustain their own people. Their need for new energy was apparent, but none of the planes were successful. The Federation was living its final days. You might think that we are monsters, but our harvesting was a display of mercy. These people were suffering so much. We'd use their energy in a righteous manner, by destroying the Federation entirely. No more worlds would suffer because of them. As we harvested, we interrogated. We learned where the Federation was run, and about its leader, the Imperator. We knew where we had to go, the world the Imperator called home. Only there could we end the Federation. But we saved it for last Exodus. We wanted the Imperator to suffer too, much like Father would be at the same time. He'd see his Federation fall apart. And when he lost all hope, he'd die. Then the universe would truly be free. Our journey finally led us to the home world. We were all powerful, completely invincible, and this music is quite loud and hard for me to talk over, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit, just a scooch. Yeah, that's great. That's better. Anyways, sure enough, this world was a paradise. They weren't suffering like the other worlds. The Imperator obviously did this on purpose, ensuring that he were able to live happily. We met with him and had a long talk. He stood by his morals to the very end. These experiments were for the greater good. He was civil, which was unexpected. His experiments led to so much suffering. He was the biggest mass murderer in history. Therefore, his end was very fitting. We killed him, but showed him no mercy. He was destroyed by his own experiments. We should have been satisfied, but we weren't. Was there something else we had to do? That's when we discovered the Terminus. The Federation knew that they were dying, so they no longer sat around waiting. They built a ship capable of reality travel. They wanted to visit their reality planes rather than waiting for them to break free. We seized this ship without hesitation. That's when we realized what to do next. The Imperator was not the true creator. Something, or someone, made the Imperator. The Federation didn't spawn from nothing. The entire universe was likely created. But what could hold so much power? We needed to continue our harvest. But now we could visit the reality planes. We were no longer limited to the core worlds. The power we could gather was infinite. But we didn't need every bit of it. We'd be breaking out of the universe. Reality planes were nothing to us anymore, and the Federation was insignificant. There was a much greater target out there. So we did what we'd been doing forever. We started harvesting the reality planes. Our power grew with each successful harvest. That's when Terra piqued our interest. There seemed to be a massive power present. And not only that, it was growing rapidly. The temptation to harvest Terra was huge. But we decided to save it for last as well. We let the power grow as long as we could. And grow you did, Exodus. Nami and I harvested the universe, but somehow your power rivaled that. It would definitely be enough to break free. That's when we decided to come to Terra. Nami was driven by her lust to kill Father. And who was I to get in her way? She had a desire that was truly her own. She wasn't acting under any influence, so I let her do it, even if she died. Her final act would be her own choice. There's nothing more beautiful than that. I promised I would achieve our goal. That's why we destroyed the tavern. There'd be no need of it anymore. It was symbolic of Father's failure, his hope to see a connected universe. We had fun razing it to the ground. And that brings us to where we stand, on the cusp of a universal revolution. I want to find the All-Creator Exodus, even if I have to travel forever. Even if 1,000,000 universes get in my way, I will find them, and I will destroy them. I'll use their power to start over again, a new beginning for all existence, without the suffering I've witnessed. That is all I was truly made to do. I wasn't meant to make a perfect world. I was meant to make universes of perfection. And you can help me, Exodus. Your power is vast and infinite. You don't need to follow Father's orders. His dream is less than ideal. His universe would be overpopulated. It would suffer in the exact same way. He'd have you undo all of my harvesting. Bring back every world and every life. But that's not such a good thing. They lived a horrifying existence. And some of these people were truly evil. The Imperator was living proof of that. Everything would be connected, sure. But would it truly be harmonious? I don't think that's the case, Exodus. There are more people than me out there. Father would give them free reign, all in the name of a connected universe. That's why we destroyed the tavern. There's another way to handle this. Something that works for both of us. Lend me your energy, Exodus. I'll use it to leave this universe. But I'll close off Earth and Terra. Whatever I do won't affect you. These worlds will live just as they have. But we'll destroy the Ark completely. The worlds will be independent. There will be no give and take. Terra will become a world of its own. It won't be connected with Earth anymore, therefore no immigration. This will solve all of Terra's problems. Death will be permanent, Terra will be free. It won't exist solely to hold energy. You can give the citizens true freedom.
This is so much to take in. I have to stop and think, and let my voice go back to normal. Anyway, I have to stop and think. So Nagi ended up destroying the entire Federation, but it was suffering, so he saw it as a mercy. Now he wants to see who created this universe. The only way he can break out is with all of our power. The universe is held in the blades and my energy, but he's offering to leave Earth and Terra unharmed, only if I give up all of his Velasquez's ideals. I've seen life on Terra, though. It's not good. Was the rest of the universe truly that bad? Would I be releasing as much suffering as he said? It seems that now this is a battle of pure ideals. On one hand, I could guarantee Earth and Terra's safety. If we closed ourselves off, there'd be no risk at all. A connected universe was risky, but the reward great. It would also give us the opportunity to advance. There's no way I could decide this on my own, and I'd have to defeat Nagi to connect the universe. Otherwise, we'd admit a defeat. We'd admit a defeat of our own and hide. We'd live quietly, never knowing what could have been. I see Nagi tremble with unease. I think he's expecting me to give in to his speech, but there's so many voices in my head I can't. It's too unclear, too cloudy to pass judgment.
I understand what's going on. The souls inside are conflicted once more. They don't know what action to take, right?
I nod and tell him I'm sorry. I need lots of time to think about this.
It doesn't need to come to that, Exodus. I have a better way to decide everything. A way to let our true selves decide.
He turned his back to me and returns to the terminal. I see him typing away at it much harder than before. I sense he's trying to hide some frustration. Did he really expect to convince me so easily? After a while, he turns back to me. The ship starts to move, pushing me back violently. I almost fall down, but grab onto a terminal. As this happens, Nami gives me an evil smirk.
I've learned one thing during our harvests. People are most open before their death. It's when we put things in perspective. You can learn a lot about another person, especially with a blade to their neck. So tell me, what do you truly want?
He flourishes his blade and holds it out towards me. I instinctively do the same in turn, facing him. The ship is moving, our destination unknown to me. Nagi keeps that evil grin on his face, ready to kill.
Our destination is Terra, a crash course. In fact, we'll hit the castle directly. The fallout will obliterate everything. Let the blade speak for your resolve. If you can defeat me, then very well. You will make Father's dream a reality. But if you don't defeat me in time, we'll crash and you'll die. Then I can use your power for myself.
Lunges towards me and He lunges toward me in an attempt to strike me down. I met his sword halfway, locking us both in place. I gaze into his eyes. It seems we're of equal strength. The blade stays in deadlock, not choosing sides. There's a part of me that wants to defeat him. As it detects his desire, the gear on my blade spins. It gives me extra strength, and I finally overpower him. But he dodges with ease, moving to the side. After a moment, he attacks me once more with full force. I brace myself and hold out my blade in defense. When our swords clash, a white light flashes before us. Likely this is a reaction to my spinning gear.
Oh no, the energy is escaping. These blades are not meant to clash. Exodus, tame your gear immediately.
I don't listen to him and I attack again. I needed this boost if I were to win. A white light flashes as they clash another time. But when it fades, I notice new stars glistening, a celestial light being born from the blade. Worlds long since harvested, finding new life.
Don't be foolish. You'll undo all of our work, and neither of us can achieve anything.
He starts to take a defensive stance. He was afraid of our swords connecting further. He dodges my attack smoothly and with ease. I never thought such a man would display grace. Or such a cheetah, or whatever he is. A part of me wants to stop the gear, but I don't. Now that I've tasted its power, it's all I need. Perhaps this is what Nagi felt. Is what Nagi felt as he used it as well. He continued to evade, but so I'll need to switch things up. Flames started to engulf the windows of the bridge. He must be breaking into Terran atmosphere. The ship shakes. I could use this turbulence. Perhaps I'd be able to throw him off guard.
Only a few minutes left, Exodus. I can dodge whatever you throw at me. There's no way you can win anymore.
His bait works, and I attack full force. But this time, I do my best to trick him. In the middle of the slash, I lose my balance. He thinks the shaking of the ship overtook me. But he was the one who got caught off guard. He tries using my momentary confusion to attack me, but like he did before, I dodge him with ease. I turn around and drive my sword through his back. He let out a grunt and falls to his knees. He remains there, panting heavily. The floor fills with his blood, pitch black. He bows his head down as if admitting defeat. I take a few steps back, my blade left inside him. The puddle of blood on the floor grows in size. I watch in awe, expecting him to pass out.
Congratulations, Exodus. You've done it. You've proven how stupid you truly are.
He laughs and rises to his feet. It was all an act. He reaches behind himself and pulls out the blade. Now he has both swords, and he wasn't even hurt. For a moment, I regret underestimating him.
We aren't so quick to hurt, Exodus. We are both born from world stones. I'm surprised you thought it was over. But now I have both blades. Infinite power courses through my veins. There's no way you can hope to win this.
He walks towards me, and I retreat in fright, but eventually my back hits a wall. This is exactly like the ballroom incident. I look around in panic, trying to find a way out.
No one can save you now. In fact, why should I even wait? I can unleash your power right now.
A few more steps and he's right in front of me. I know there's no use trying to run. I tried the same thing back when Endymon died, but this time I wouldn't get sent back by Ryo.
I often wondered if there was an afterlife. On the off chance that there is, give Father my regards when you see him.
And with that, he plunges both blades inside of me. I screamed as I'm pinned to the wall of the terminus. My vision falters, and I look out the bridge window. The Terran surfing grows bigger with each second.
That's the world you wanted to help. You could have saved them, you know. I gave you a perfectly valid option. But instead, you chose to fight me. You chose a battle you knew you'd lose. And they will all suffer for it. Look at those beautiful forests, Exodus. It's the last time you'll ever see them. Or any Terran, for that matter. Souls will continue to travel here, but they will find only hell, engulfed in fire, burning for eternity.
He pushes the blades deeper, and the gears start to spin. I can feel my essence draining faster than ever before. He was right. I could have agreed with him back then, but now my last moments alive will be full of regret. My vision slowly starts to fade. It seems he'll activate our power at the last second. At the moment of impact, he'd leave this universe. I'd die, and everyone on Terra would suffer forever. That's a bad ending. Oh boy. But just like the ballroom, it wasn't over yet. However, instead of fear, these events bring hope.
Not so fast, Nagi.
He turns to address the intruder. He's caught off guard as they've never met. But it's good to see a familiar face after this. And a part of me knows exactly what will happen next. Archon, do it now. While Nagi is confused, Ryo makes his move. He dashes toward me and pulls out one of the swords. Then he returns to the center of the bridge, smirking. He points the blade at Nagi, completely determined. So, we finally meet. Velasquez's creations, together at last. He sure screwed up the first time around.
You're the other one, then? You foiled my plans in the ballroom. Brother, do you have a death wish?
Nagi turns to me and tries to take the second blade, but before he can get to me, he's stopped.
Going somewhere?
Archon quickly removes the other blade. I fall to the ground in a puddle of my own blood, but they have both swords free to kill Nagi. They stand there pointing both towards him.
You two, explain yourselves. I demand you tell me what's going on.
Like you did with all the others you killed. Don't make me laugh. You don't deserve it. Today we erase a scourge from the universe.
Ryo lunges forward, stabbing Nagi straight through. Yeah, I haven't seen Archon in a while, have we? That's like what? Actually, the whole episode. Like, he was in the last episode, but the larger man stumbles back, growing in pain.
Archon, let's end this. Destroy the cause of so much suffering and give a brighter future to everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You know, I thought I won the battle, but now I know this is truly the end.
He follows after Ryo and stabs Nagi as well. They both look at each other and give a firm nod. They activate their gears and Nagi screams in agony.
You fools! You can't defeat me! I am the embodiment of death. The force more powerful than anything.
Archon simply laughs. And I'm the embodiment of life. For the first time, it has prevailed. A new force will govern the universe. My life engulfs everything. I can't see. But I can feel energy, and then a lack of it. Almost as if Nagi was now a part of their blades. Have they truly defeated the man who created the earth? I bring myself to my feet, and my knees tremble. I call out to Ryo and Archon, hoping that they're alive. Perhaps their energy was put into the blades as well. But when the light subsides, I see that's not the case. They both return to face me wearing huge smiles. They had teamed up and done the unthinkable. They destroyed Nagi and ended his twisted journey. It's not over yet, Tantroo. It's time to unleash your power. Archon, just like we practiced. They turn and point their both swords at me. But I sense no hostility within them. It was finally time to bring this to an end. I live out the purpose I was created for. But would I have enough power to carry out my goal? Either way, I had to do something, and fast. As soon as the suspension ended, Terra would suffer. I'll do this. For everyone's freedom. No one will get stuck in a cycle of despair. He stabs me with his blade and I feel a surge of power. And I'll do it for everyone's happiness. No more will death triumph over life. Archon fully follows suit, plunging his sword within me.
Here, we have the ability to change history. You'll bring about a hopeful future. Tantroo, we believe in you.
Can't do both voices at the same time. We push their blades in deeper, but it doesn't hurt. Instead, I feel power like I've never felt before, and it was time to change history and make things better. I looked deep inside and find out how much power I had. With all of it, I'd create the best possible reality, but how much power did I have, and what could I do? This was the accumulation of every action I ever took. All the choices have led to this. Apparently, this is where you would choose the ending, and obviously I only have one option, so... I could feel the power within me, but it wasn't enough. At least, not enough to achieve Velasquez's goal. Perhaps it was because I unleashed while I fought. But perhaps I just didn't have enough to begin with. However, I wouldn't deny them their request. I could still change reality for the better, and Nagi wasn't too far off with his idea. In fact, it followed the After Lord I player's ideals. I nodded at them as they plead for a better reality. The gears spin and everything fades to white. I close my eyes, embracing what's to come. I knew that my journey had finally come to an end, and I also knew that I'd never open my eyes again. But when they did, they'd see the future I created. A future built on the foundation of suffering and loss. But a future that would never experience that again. I didn't have enough power to bring back the dead, but I'd shaped the reality that could bring everyone joy. They would never know the truth of what happened. The same lost souls made this dream a reality. I would be among them as I knew the truth. My sacrifice and suspension meant I'd be forgotten. Epilogue. Dun, dun, dun. After everything subsides, Righty and PB head home, but only the raised ruins of the tavern greet them. It wouldn't be long until they noticed what happened. Immigration subsided, Terra would get no more visitors.
Righty, I can't believe this. It's almost like it was never here. I'm sorry. You were right about that woman.
No need to apologize, PB. I have a feeling her reign is over. No one will have to suffer like this again.
PB takes slow steps through the rubble of his home. He kneels down and picks up some broken glass.
Still a little hard to believe. She destroyed almost everything inside?
PB laughs as tears stream down his face. He holds the piece of glass close to his heart.
No, not everything, Righty. This one is Fidget's doing. Only he could be this clumsy.
Righty approaches PB, inspecting the broken glass. They share a laugh, finding momentary happiness. Nagi was wiped from the annals of history that day. Only Nami remained known for what she had done. But so too would the child of Exodus be forgotten. The citizens of Terra thanked Velasquez instead. The immortal king's reign had indeed come to an end. But he left in his wake a world of joy for all.
Shouldn't take too long to rebuild. I mean, I did it the first time around. And I'm a lot bigger than I was back then.
No, I'd say there's no need, Righty. It's time to turn another page. Perhaps I can finally move on.
Then they stand together in the rumble of their old home. PB was right. They had to bring about change. In that moment, Righty set his eyes on the throne. But PB's eyes were much far away into the unknown. With Velasquez gone, Terra was in disarray. Righty immediately ventured into the castle. Amongst his findings, Velasquez's journal, a chronicle of his life, ending with one decree.
Wait, say that again, Dusk? I might not have heard correctly. I'm afraid you did, my lord. I feel like it's time to move elsewhere. But don't worry, I won't be out of reach. Velasquez wished for Righty to be his successor. A lot of responsibility, but he accepted eagerly. He always had his expectations with Velasquez's rule, but now it was time to lead Terra in another direction. The decree may have been dated from their past. Righty and Velasquez used to be great friends, but a royal decree must always be honored, and so Terra found its second king. But a change in power brought about other changes, including the departure of Dusk, Velasquez's advisor. Righty's rule would be different in so many ways. I have to say I'm a little shocked, but not everything can stay the same. I wish you all the best, I truly do. It means more than you know, my lord. Please accept my peaceful resignation, and may your reign be ever prosperous. He bows before leaving the throne room. It was the final time he'd set foot inside. Dusk wasn't the only man who felt it was time to leave. There were others who didn't fit into Righty's rule. However, this gave them opportunity to grow. So what, you leaving for good? PB, isn't that kind of a hasty decision?
I feel like I've always wanted to, but I had things tying me down, you know?
Actually, when you say it like that, I know exactly what you're talking about. So you have any idea where you're going?
Not really, but that's the glory of it. So much uncharted territory out there. Lots to see, more to be mapped out.
You a cartographer?
How hard can it be? I taught Fidget how to draw, you know? And look how that turned out. What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Calm down, little guy. I just meant maybe you could use a little help. I'm not sure what I should do next either. Does that sound like something we could do? You might need some second opinions, or at least someone who can protect you.
Yeah, but I don't have any money, so don't come expecting a huge paycheck.
That's okay. It's not money I want anymore. Besides, maps could help future generations. I love to be tied to something like that.
Shut it, Fox.
Very well. I want to leave tomorrow. Do you think you'd be up super early? Yeah, I could do that. Conrad lets out a slight laugh at the situation.
Wait, what's so funny now?
Nothing, it's just kind of interesting. We'll be real wayfarers now. While some on left Righty's side, others flocked to it. He created a network of trusted friends by his side. This way he knew that he could trust those around him.
Wait, could you say that again?
I want you to be my advisor, Kalen. We've been through thick and thin. I know I can trust you with anything. Besides, I know how strong you are. You protect me, I'll protect you. No one can survive alone on Terra.
A royal advisor, huh? Can you put up with my attitude?
Honestly, I find it endearing. Good to hear after a long, hard day of work. You tell it like it is, Kalen. That's something I need.
Well, when you put it like that, I don't think I could turn you down. Do I get my own wing of the castle?
Righty laughs and shakes his head at Kalen.
I don't even get my own wing. I just get this little room here. But honestly, it's all I need.
Alright, then which throne is mine?
Now there's something we can negotiate. Which one would you like, my friend?
The The structure of Terra's loyalty continued to change. While some left the castles, others arrived, but no matter what, they all had one thing in common. They were all taking life in a new direction. I guess that's all of it. Never thought I'd live to see this day. The Immortal King sounding rather final.
No one's really immortal, Dusk. There's always some sort of catch. It was just his time to go, that's all.
I guess you're right, Sam. And now it's our time to go. You think you can carry that?
It's just a box.
All right, all right. I just don't want you carrying too much. Are you sure you know where we're going?
Please stop coddling me, Dusk. You may have been my boss, but not anymore. You left the king, I'm just helping.
Sam walks away carrying Dusk's belongings, but as she leaves, someone else enters. A confused look on her face as she seeks the king.
Oh, hello there, can you help me? I'm looking for the throne room. Do you know where that might be?
Ma'am, you asked the perfect man. This place is like a second home to me. Up the stairs, through the double doors. May I ask what you're here for?
Well, I used to work at the Wayfarer, but it's definitely out of commission. Reddy called me here to help out.
That's awful nice of him. Velasquez wasn't always so generous. Reddy sounds like a fine ruler.
Oh, absolutely. I've known him forever. Terra will change for the better.
Except for I'll break every single glass that this frickin' royal castle has to offer, but sure. And change it did. Brady went on to be loved by all Terrans. His rule was just and allowed freedom. The people were no longer subjected to aged ideals. With the economy stable, he looked to expansion. Terra spread, and many cities and towns were founded. All of these were able to be governed autonomously. Elected ambassadors ruled them all and reported to Righty. Within reason, they could give people what they desired. After several years, the Lord Player returned. He reported that he was a new man, ready to atone. No longer under Riley's grasp, he ran for office. In the end, he was elected as the ambassador of Riley. His dream of a closed-off Terra had finally come true. Immigration no longer plagued this beautiful world. The population became more stable, free of famine. Riley became a happy hamlet, and Player became loved. Dusk and Sam ended up as work partners once more. Founding an academy, they taught children their history. They deserved to know more about Terra's past, more importantly, the lesson of the Immortal King. Their academies started an infinite cycle of knowledge. When they died, the children would take their place. They passed on the knowledge down, and this would repeat. This ensured that nobody ever forget the past. Trish had no choice but to leave the Wayfarer behind. Both PB and Fidget were no longer in the picture. Accepting Righty's offer, she worked in the castle. The rest of her life was spent perfecting her art. And of course, over the several years she did. Terrans would travel fine roads to taste her concoctions. She brought an influx of tourism to Righty's castle. But unlike Velasquez, his gates were always open. Righty ruled Terra for a very long time, but Velasquez didn't rule it forever, neither could he. One fateful night he passed away peacefully in his slumber, leaving behind an expanded and fully united Terra. He was remembered as the greatest ruler they ever had. People traveled the world to pay respects. Dusk and Sam's Academy had a lesson to teach. The story of how Terra truly became a paradise. It was decreed that Kalen would rule in his stead. Assuming kingship, he ensured Righty's legacy lived on. He would keep Terra connected and united for an eternity. His job was to maintain what Righty worked to create. One day, PB finally returned from his journey. He carried maps depicting every corner of Terra. He named his discoveries after his fallen comrades, and gave Kalen new ideas for future continued expansion. He was older, more grizzled than before. Conrad didn't return, and he was silent on this matter. but the skills of the assassin were imparted to him, becoming Kalen's advisor as they rolled into old age. Expansion continued and spread throughout the world. Velasquez would have been proud of his new Terra. It was all connected, but on a much smaller scale, and it flourished for the rest of its existence. Earth, however, would remain unchanged. After exiting the bunker, everyone regrouped. Heading back to Tokyo, they continued their plans. The world tour and memorial would go on. Sinjin and Numi returned to the convention center. It was a big ordeal, but they couldn't lose time. The launch of the world tour still needed to happen. In fact, Daz and Shock would be pushing overtime.
Sinj, are you sure we'll be okay? I don't want to be scared anymore. I've been having a lot of nightmares lately.
Inui, everything will be fine. Sorry for lying to everyone, but Archon and I had this plan all along.
You knew it was Max.
Yes, Archon told me a long time ago. Sorry things had to be like this, but otherwise, all of us would be dead.
I think I understand.
If not, you will someday. You can't always win unconditionally. There'll always be losses on the road of life.
I just wish it didn't have to be bro.
Trust me, I feel the same way. It'll take a lot to push through this. I can't even imagine what Daz is feeling.
That's all because of Maxine Armstrong. I heard someone say to execute her. She probably deserves that, right, Sinj?
I can't say for sure, Inumi. The world doles out justice in strange ways. You can't see that after all that's happened.
I guess, but you know what they say. The punishment should fit the crime.
While some wanted vengeance, others wanted remembrance, to honor the fallen instead of avenging them. Daz and Shock put all their hearts into their rehearsals. It'd be their one chance to shine on their own. I'm not sure about these lyrics, Daz. Don't they seem a bit too sappy to you? I'll be yours. What's up with that?
It's a memorial, Shock. It's not for us. Other people will find meaning in them. We have to sing with emotion.
She made us blow Rook up. Yeah, poor Rook. He's dead.
Besides, my solo isn't any better. You're calling our duet sappy? Wait till you hear my performance.
I'll take your word for it. I'm really starting to feel the pressure. So many people are here for Clace.
This isn't about Clace, never was. We're singing for every single loss. Past, present, and future, Shock. We'll tap into everyone's emotion, invoke memories deep inside them, even memories they may have forgotten.
I guess you're right, but I'm still singing for Rocker and Clace. And maybe some people in my past. To that end, I don't want to screw up. If they're watching, I want them happy. They deserve to smile through all this.
And you said the lyrics were sappy? You should hear yourself right now, Shock.
Oh yeah, Daz was another female character. Geez, that's like, what, 5 now? Okay, so maybe there were a few. Maybe I'm just being forgetful and stupid. He chuckles and makes sure they laugh. They practice deep into the night for their big duet. This would be the start of the rest of their careers. What happened tonight would dictate their futures. The world became curious of the happenings in Tokyo. Murders, explosions, arrests. It was very interesting. Luckily, a local expert had all us covered. Fukudamo here, live from Tokyo. What a turn of events we have, folks. Instead of protecting us, she killed. That's right, Maxine Armstrong. I reported her arrival just the other day. It turns out she had sinister intentions. But her reign of terror is at an end. I have exclusive news for all of you. Late last night, she was arrested. Like the scene out of a movie, I swear. Citizens coordinated her confession. After that, police delivered justice. But it wasn't just any citizens. Their names were Singe and Akan. One of them was Max's brother. The other was Clace's tour manager, both directly affected by her killings.
Once again, a reporter doesn't talk like this.
Anyways. That's what I call poetry, people.
No, you could have said like Mac, you could have like introduced the brother element a little differently than that. Like one of them was Clace's brother. Which one was Max's brother? Was it Archon or was it Singe? I doubt it was Singe. They don't even look related. I mean, jeez. God, still, like, God, I hate this character.
But her reach extended far further. Far further?
Oh, God damn, I hate this character.
But her reach extended far further. How many people did her actions affect? And how far would these ripples spread? Find out next time on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. I don't think we'll ever truly know. Well, that's not in the next episode. Whatever. Well, everyone gathered. Some were heading home. Not by their own will, but by the will of others. Jade escorted Keela. Well, we know his name's not Keela. It's what, Edward? I can't remember. Back to the train station. But he was given a generous check before departing. See, they're calling him Keela again. We know he's not Keela. Like, that's like a sort of a loophole, I guess. Like, it's Edward, isn't it? Like, his twin brother was named Keela, right? We learned that in the last thing, but obviously, like, if I didn't... It should know that I'm positive with him, right? So it should know that I know he's Edward. The game should know. You have to program that in there, dude. Don't be lazy. Come on. Anyways.
Are you sure about this, Jade? There's a lot of money, you know.
Oh, Eddie. Eddie, right. Eddie is his name. I was close. I'm getting better with names, actually. That's kind of good.
There's a lot of money, you know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Singe's orders, Kira. I have my first speaking role in like 500 episodes. What is wrong with you writers? I am a freaking talented actress, and I want respect from all of you. And I put the perfect voice for this character, and this character never showed up in this entire game, and I'm really ticked off. Stupid writers. Gosh, why did I even take this freaking job anyway? Anyways, Singe's orders, Kira. Nothing I can do about it. I mean, I'd gladly take some of that money, because I certainly didn't get a lot of it from the amount of speaking roles I had in this particular show. I'm gonna speak with my agent.
Hey, no way.
Takes a moment before he realized he was joking.
You got to play two characters, you greedy son of a...
Oh, you went for Eddie. Oh, Golden Bonnie's Eddie. Nice.
Actually, that was a pretty good one. I had to give you props for that one, Jade.
Thanks, Killa. It means a lot. I have to honor my teacher, after all. If only he could be here to see you off.
Yeah, I really wish he could. I mean, we did have our differences, but Rook was a solid guy. He really was. What are you gonna do now?
I haven't thought that far ahead. But I know it's time for change. Maybe I could be a teacher of sorts. Definitely not humor, though. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart. I'm smart in a lot of weird areas. Maybe I can pass that knowledge on.
That's a pretty good idea.
How about you, Kira?
Honestly, I have no idea. I might think about it on the train ride. It's how all this started, after all. Only fitting that it ends that way. Plus, I have a lot of time to waste. If only I had some company to tag along.
Train pulls up and the doors open slowly.
I wish I could come with you, Kira, but you have all my information, right? Let me know when you get home safely. Maybe we'll both be less clueless then.
Sounds like a good idea. Maybe I can come back for Rook's funeral. I felt like I should be present for that.
Jade nods as Kilo gets on the train. After a moment, it starts driving away. Though apart, they would still remain together. If not in person, then in the memories they had.
Please do. I like that.
Later that day, Jade tendered her resignation. It was time for her to move on to something different. She mourned over the loss of Rook for a long time. But part of moving on would be leaving the industry.
I'm sorry to hear that, Jade. I hoped we could be partners for years. I understand why doing what's necessary.
I'm grateful for your understanding.
Damn right you should be at Rook's funeral, Eddie. Yeah, he should be. I mean, geez Louise. Geez Louise. I mean, he's the one who died for you, man. And it was sadly for nothing, too, because I thought it's like, well, he's helping me on Terra. That was my big reason for picking him over frickin' Rook. And, you know, it's like, it ended up being for nothing. If I knew that, I would have saved Rook. Dang it. Anyways.
And please don't assume I'm ditching you. I'd very much like to stay in contact.
Of course, I like that as well. Have you thought about what you'll do? Honestly, I couldn't live without my work.
No, I'm gonna play it by ear. Besides, a little freedom may help. If I need console, I'll come to you.
Absolutely, but don't leave just yet. You have a concert to attend, you know? I hope you plan to come and join us.
I'll definitely be there, Singe. I mean, it's a memorial, right? I have to pay my respects to Rook.
Thanks, that means the world to me. I know life takes us all over the place, but to be together just one last time, if they're watching, they'd be happy.
Everything had been built up to this moment. Not everyone. Now, everything is built up to this moment, ladies and gentlemen. Everything. Oh gosh, my arm's numb. Everything is built up to this moment. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a misspelling. Everything is built up to this typo. Yes. Not now. Everyone was here, but they were together. Oh, or my misreading. Wow, I am tired. Not everyone was here, but they were together in heart. Jeez, wow. I've been streaming for what now? Freaking 3 hours and a half. Jeez Louise. Man, this freaking Exodus is a long one, and now I'm seeing typos where they don't exist. Not everyone was here, but they were together in heart. Now I feel super embarrassed. Anxiety intensified as their debut loomed ahead. There was more on the line for them than anyone knew. Daz, I don't know about this. This must be what they call stage fright. Any chance you can handle it on your own?
No way. If you run, I'm coming too. But we've come too far to back out now. They don't deserve an empty stage. Remember what we're doing here tonight? A performance for all Tokyo. A memorial for the midnight deaths. And the launch of your career as well. There's way more pressure on you. Yeah, I got this. I can get through this. I don't know much longer this is gonna go on. Like I'm guessing another half hour. Like with the way he's writing. Whew. I should have saved and then quit like before the final part. Now, if he had said this is going, like literally, man, morally, you should have said this is going to be a like hour or 2 hour ending if you want, and you're not going to have any saves between here and there. Save now or forever hold your peace. And I would have went, hey, I know how long this is going to be. I'm going to stop.
I'm gonna freaking do one more episode for a finale and then do it. But now it's like, now I've come too far. I've got to go with it. Anyways, thanks for reminding me. Ugh.
Anyways, are you prepared? I'm still worried about my piano work. There are a few tricky chords in there.
I'm worried about singing in general. I've only provided backup vocals. They expect me to lead our duet tonight.
You have a beautiful voice, Shock. It's time we both stepped into the spotlight. Just do it like we rehearsed. It was great.
Outside, the crowd buzzes in anticipation. They've waited a long time for this day. Of course, it wasn't the concert they'd expected, but they gained joy from its newfound purpose. This joy made its way to Shock and Daz. The anxiety with them slowly withered away. It was time to be proud and honor the fallen. Tonight, they were the heralds of Tokyo's morning. Yay! Someone's enjoying the long stream. I'm probably going to crash like hell after this, though. I'm going to be like... Oh, wake me up whenever you go. Don't leave me hanging like a yo-yo. They stepped out, and the audience remained silent. They didn't applaud out the rest of the theme. It was a somber moment, a quiet moment of remembrance. One last arie for those lost souls to sway to. I've never heard that word before. I'll have to Google it. After the memorial concert, they made it big time. They traveled for years, entertaining the whole world. Well, lyrics. I'm not gonna get a content strike, am I? This isn't copyrighted music, is it?
Yesterday is swept away. Why don't we?
Anyways, Shock took up philanthropic work when he had spare time. Daz, however, always poured her heart into performing. In the end, she easily surpassed Clay's popularity. But she never forgot the man who gave her this chance. Fukumoto's reporting turned many heads overseas
On how terrible it was.
He was recognized for his coverage of the Tokyo's crisis.
And how he left a lot of leading questions at the end of his
Freaking coverage. An international corporation handed him a job offer. Leaving Tokyo, he moved to America to pursue his dream. He became a reporter known for his honor and integrity. Never again would he resort to tabloid journalism.
But he would always end with leading questions.
Singe managed idols for the rest of his days. He loved his work and devoted his life to it, all the while becoming a father of the young and new. But as he grew older, he needed a plan for the future. He ended up teaching his son how the business worked. When old age took him, Nanumi had been given full control. His days were spent honoring the legacy that his father left. Keela donated the money from his check to science. He was devoted to finding the cure for severe illnesses. It was a great springboard for the rest of his life.
Don't you mean Eddie, or what is it?
Eddie, Eddie wanted to
Donate his checks to science to find cure for severe illnesses because he was honoring his brother Keela.
right? I mean, that's the real story behind it. I guess they didn't pick that's sort of kind of cheesy because they could have done something with that. It's like if you found out the true story of Keela, then you would have said Eddie and stuff like that. And then it would have said this is the reason. He ended up becoming chairman of many foundations. Jade went back to the field of education. She taught others and published many papers. By the end of her lifetime, she was very well known. Her contributions to the field would be well cherished. Every character's important and became very super famous and stuff. No one ever, even in the bad ending, it's all the characters ended up in a good position. Shaka Death left many chart-topping hits. Rather than fighting over the spotlight, they did duets. They were true stars, loved by the people, and interacting with fans was their greatest passion. But their careers came to an end with their old age. Settling down together, they focused on Shock's work. Together, they found several popular charities. Their lives were henceforth devoted to giving. I don't know how I saw all this, to be honest. As far as I knew, I was supposed to be dead. But I smiled as I saw the future I'd left behind. It seemed that, in the end, everyone was happy. I'm supposed to be dead. Oh, okay, that was Fox and More. Okay. I thought it was. I was like, is that Fox and More? Like, I didn't want to, like, point it out and go, yeah, that's Fox and More. Who did the lead sing in that song that was just sung just now. Who the other person is, I don't know them, though. So, yeah, I'm not going to get copyright struck for this, so I don't think. Because, you know, Fox is okay. But anyways, that was Major Minor. Bad ending. I don't know if I'd play it again to get the good ending. I certainly wouldn't do it on things. And plus... Okay, so here it is. Yep, here are all the list of the personas, by the way. And who they belong to. So Eddie is Keela's real name. Oh, that's cool. PB's Nikki's, Fidget belongs to Timothy Shinnick, Player belongs to Joseph Gass, Ryo belongs to Ryo, Righty belongs to Eric Concha Jr., Miley belongs to that, Rocker belongs to Jason Maris. Wow, they got a lot of freaking furries on this. No wonder he won the Ursa Majors. If everyone in the cast just voted once, he probably would have whooped their ass. Seriously. I mean, look at all those freaking different names of different people. I mean, geez, I gotta say. I want to thank the inventors who made this a reality. Your characters will live on forever in my heart. I also want to thank everyone who gave you the feedback. The game would have never without you. I lastly want to thank you, the player. You supported my dream of creating games. This game is directed all to you.
What would happen?
Would watch again for good end. I don't know. There's a lot of like droning on and on and on and on. Like this was like 11, what was this, 12 parts, well 10 parts, and it actually would be 11 parts if I played 2 hours apiece. Fiend, like a fish, fiend. So thank you Potato Hole and Golden Bonnie for showing up for these streams, and Strange Love if you're still awake. I know you've been quiet for a bit, so I don't know if you're still on. You three have always been regular attendees and other people who watch these at a later time. The end. Overall, not a bad game. Had its little flaws here and there, but it was a fun little read. Obviously, some disappointments, some... You know, the story's well written enough. It's got a lot of emotion, a lot of heart to it. I'm very proud that he got all these different characters and actually different personas from different people together. That's amazing. It's probably also, as I said, why he won the Ursa Majors. I mean, the Ursa Majors is a popular vote. So involving more people in your project certainly helps you garner votes from the furry fandom, because the furry fandom knows that it's sort of like the Furry's Choice Awards or Kids' Choice Awards thing of the furry fandom. So that certainly probably helped his case in winning the Ursa Majors. Obviously, the things that I would work on a little bit, work on the exposition a little bit. Like hopefully in your new game you're working on streamlining a little bit, not repeating so much information, Your person's playing a visual novel video game sort of thing. They're not, if they're that into reading, they're not going to be that dumb. So you don't have to like have themselves reflect upon what the character just told them, and they can make their own conclusions. But there were some great moments in there. There's some memorable moments, a lot of memorable characters, very good characterization. But in that same vein, you know, make sure that you are not limiting yourself into the text box. You can make longer sentences. You don't have to fragment your sentences to fit the text of the game. Feel free to use the space provided to you. But other than that, no more 5x dialogue boxes. Yeah, like I think he's getting, like, I've seen some of the project he's working on right now, because he's already working on the sequel, which obviously I'll be playing on this channel when it comes out. Yeah, it looks a lot more nuanced. So it would certainly be something that'd be interesting to play. So, that being said, there will probably be a vote on the next one that we will play. I have a plethora of free games, so obviously follow my Twitter accounts. And I'll be probably putting a vote thing up for the next week that'll be for whatever the next game is. My idea is that there's that Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Curse, I believe it is the one old classic game that has anthropomorphic characters in it that came out this year. Obviously there's I don't know if I'm going to go directly into another narrative-driven one, so I don't know if I'm going to do the Dragon Wings one directly after this one. I'll probably do one that's a little more action-oriented, or just like not as a story-driven, to give my voice some rest, especially after this last marathon that we ran. But anyway, after like this long episode, I once again thank everyone for coming out. I'm going to get the hop out of here, and I will see you again next week for whatever mystery game we decide to play next time. It's midnight. Don't feed your gremlins. Have a good one.